call him Father Christmas? Or
Yes. Father Christmas. But it was not only that, you had Stanton, pumping out 4 home runs in 5 games.
I heard that's the only reason they keep him around is for the postseason.
Yeah.
Like he is so injury prone, right?
Yeah.
Like let's face it, he ends up, if he plays 30% of the regular season game, that's a lot for him. But my God, like he stepped it up because like Judge didn't have a very good series. He only hit 167. Now he had 2 homers, 4 hits, 4 runs, but like he wasn't.
He's not impactful.
Not too impactful, but they were talking about it on the broadcast, Ron Darling and all the guys, and they were saying like, who do you pitch around? Like, on the winning home run by Soto, they're like, okay, what do we do? Do we pitch to him? Okay, now we got Judge, and then we got Stanton. Like it's murderers.
Well, they were
row.
saying that too with Ohtani in the number 1 spot because the 7, 8, 9 on the Dodgers have been lights out so far in the playoffs.
Right.
And it's interesting to think about the conversations that happen in the clubhouse or like the dugout there, where if you mess up on the 7, 8, 9, you got Ohtani, and it's like there's probably arguments that happen, right?
Yeah.
Because he's been delivering on all he's worth to, so it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, Les.
Oh, I got something to tell you first. We missed about 5 minutes. It's all good. We're live now.
Oh, geez.
Chris Chessell's here with us with Rhett Chessell. Somebody else can run this.
Oh my.
Oh dear.
Couldn't figure out why we weren't coming up live, and it was showing episode volume 36. I'm going, oops. Oh, we're good.
So that's it, folks.
Game over.
We came on at 4:30.
Thanks for joining us. At least it's only 5 minutes and not 35 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
We need a production crew.
Yeah.
So what do you have to
It
hit
is what it
to
is.
get it to go?
Start streaming.
Yeah. Okay.
I just missed it.
All good.
It's all good. We're back.
So, do you want to do the intros again?
Let's start all over, folks.
With as much enthusiasm. Forget it.
Enthusiasm. That's a big word.
All right.
All right.
Chris Chessell and Rhett Chessell are here.
St. Mary's Lincoln super fan.
Yeah. Good to have you, Rhett.
Thanks.
And Chris, returning guest, friend of the show. And, for those of you just tuning in,
You missed
we've
that
already
5.
done
You
that.
missed that 5 minutes. It was great. There was a fight in here and everything. No, just kidding.
It's the best 5 minutes of the whole season. No, it's all good.
Yeah.
Amateur hour again.
Well, it's the great thing about it is, we got father-son duo, Chris and Rhett Chessell, and Rhett being a Dodgers fan and me being a Yankees fan, Rhett. I love it. I appreciate the Dodgers going back to Kirk Gibson. When Gibby came up, when he pinch hit there against Dennis Eckersley, and it was on one leg and fouled one off, and everybody thought it was going to go fair. And so I appreciate the Dodgers, but ever since '77 with Reggie Jackson, that's when I really became a Yankees fan. Mr. October. 5 home runs in 1 World Series. 3 of them were in Game 6, the clincher. And just the stuff legends are made of, right? Like, you can't write scripts any better than that. And then 78, they played him again. And the Dodgers, those are, like, Ron Say, Steve Garvey, like, all those guys, right? Like, Fernando Valenzuela. No, Fernando was like in the 80s.
Yeah.
He came in 81.
Yeah.
But just good stuff. Like it's a pleasure having you guys here.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We can give you a
I
quick
think this
synopsis.
series against the Dodgers and Yankees is going to be cinema. It's going to be awesome.
I hope so.
I think it's going to go 7, but I think the Yankees are going to win.
You never know.
The Dodgers just don't have pitching. They don't have no pitching.
They
What
don't
a
have
humble opinion, eh?
Yeah.
Well,
honestly.
You know what? You just got to get hot for a week and a half, and anything can happen, right? And
you got 3
Yankees,
of the biggest stars in baseball in this series.
The league
with Ohtani,
couldn't
Judge,
ask
and Soto
for a better matchup. Like it's exactly what New York wanted, and like I say headquarters, not the Yankees, but just at the beginning of the playoffs, I thought in a perfect world, I would love to see best versus best, and we got it.
Yep.
And all I hope is that it comes out to like 3/4 of what the ALCS and NLCS were. Now the NLCS, it didn't have the drama that the ALCS had. Game 3 with the Yankees up by 2, and then what was it? What did you call him? Noel?
Father Christmas.
Father Christmas. Yeah, he came up and tied it up there in the bottom of the 9th with 2 out, and then Fry wins it in extras. Like that. That's just stuff that legends are made of.
Every October,
Yeah.
you get those moments, right? And I'm kind of waiting for that one, and we finally got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this next series we're gonna hopefully get 6-7 games of drama.
Oh my God! Like in Soto in Game 5, like where fouled off 4 straight pitches.
Oh.
And like in he's like borderline arrogant, wouldn't you say, Rhett? Like he's so confident, which you have to be. Folks, the kid's 25 years old. Like he's got ice in his veins.
He needs to go away from the Soto shuffle. I hate that. If I was a pitcher, I'd hit him in the face with a 100 mile per hour fastball.
Oh, can't do that.
Wow,
anymore.
that escalated.
So, Red, I got to ask, how do you truly feel about that? Just kidding.
No
Hit him.
comment.
Just beat him, right?
Well,
It's just arrogant. I just think it's just dumb.
I think there's something to be said with these star young players, and what's Soto, 22, 23, maybe 24? 25.
Yeah.
So he's putting in a little bit of time. There's an arrogance that you can have about you when you're that good, but these players have to resort back to the tradition of the game, in my opinion. I'm not just saying it because it's Soto, but there's so many different players doing so many different things, and there's still the fundamental traditional way to approach the game as a player. I believe that time evolves and time changes things, but that's just my opinion.
I just want to say, Joe Hishon, thank you. He said, oops. Hey, I just want everybody to also notice that at the bottom of the screen now, you'll see our advertisers, our sponsors,
Yeah, I
scrolling
saw
across the bottom. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
support local folks.
Yes, sir.
So I think too, this generation compared to the generation we grew up watching, you could fix that shuffle pretty quickly, right?
Yes.
With a little sweet chin music and maybe a bench clearing brawl, and that'll be the end of it. But
Right.
those are few and far between nowadays. But
Okay. First, they didn't like the bat flip. Then
Right.
everybody started liking
That's
the bat
right,
flip, and
yeah.
all of a sudden they don't like the bat flip again. So what the heck's going on?
well, it's just
With these
everything's
players, right?
changing, right, Les? Like,
yeah,
it's just
Come on. It's not like when he flipped the bat, it's not like he threw it 30 feet like Batista did, right? No,
every bat flip now is the same as Batista's was in
Yeah.
15. They're just.
But this guy
all of a
the
sudden
other
we're
last
immune
week there
to
just
it, right?
flipped it right by the plate. Like it wasn't even a helicopter. It was just a flip like that.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Yeah.
We know you're not gonna, you're gonna come out and push and shove each
Yeah.
other.
Stand and.
It's not gonna be like a hockey brawl or anything.
No.
You only get those in, right preseason. Grapefruit League.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's super excited. Like just the way that the thing I love about baseball is that it's like a chess game, but it can change on a dime, right? Like you think that okay, they got a 2-run lead, they're bringing in their ace, and this is going to be 1, 2, 3, and then all of a sudden, boom, a guy like Noel hits a game tire. Right. It's just it can change at which any sport can, but just the way that it does, because you've got so much time and waiting, and then all of a sudden, boom, it happens. Like the other sports are a lot faster, right? They're constantly in motion, as we're with baseball, it's not like that at all, and so it's more dramatic. It seems like.
Yeah. Well, even you look at even last night, the Dodgers. I think were up 6-1 or 6-3. I can't remember, but they brought out a relief pitcher. I think he pitched to 1 or 2 guys, they took him out. I thought was crazy. And then the very first pitch, the next guy threw, they hit a 2-run bomb.
Right.
I think that made it 6-3 actually. So, but yeah, it's just like that. The game can change so quick, and there's so much. And I know that the Dodgers' pitching situation is horrendous, and they have to have these bullpen games. And you know, like you think back to what they would have if they were all healthier. Like Glasnow's there, right?
Right.
Kershaw's there.
Oh my
Who
God.
else are they missing, right?
Bobby Miller, Gavin Stone.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this probably wouldn't even be a series if all 5 starting pitchers were healthy, right?
Right.
So yeah, I think it's going to be good.
Yeah. Oh, it's special, and hopefully, honest to God, if the Yankees win, great. I just want to see a good series.
Oh, yeah.
Right, because especially like kids your age, Rhett, are the ones that MLB is trying to bring back into it. Like a lot of your generation doesn't like the chess speed of it. You know, they want something quick, right? Like, you know, that's where hockey, NBA, football, they're all tailor-made for your generation. So it's refreshing to see a young guy like yourself be interested, be passionate. Because, man, oh, man, like before cell phones and all the sports packages and stuff, right? Like I remember as a kid watching Mel Allen, This Week in Baseball, right? Like you loved watching it Saturday afternoons.
Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
And plays of the week. And
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
that was
like-
the only time you got to see other teams. You
Exactly.
got to watch 6 or 7 guys make diving catches in the outfield. It was like, hey, I'm going out to the ballpark.
Right.
To
Yeah.
make some diving catches. Right?
Yeah.
And I remember standing in my front yard right by Hathaway Park. And me and my buddy would throw the ball 5 feet away from each other.
Right.
See how many great diving catches we could
Right.
make. But it was all because of watching Twib.
Absolutely.
That's what
Yeah.
it is, right?
Yeah,
So good.
and that's the way it is, right? Like, honest to God, it's not the same for me now. I'll be passive for the World Series. Might watch a bit of it, but there's a hockey game on. There's a hockey game on. I'm gonna watch a hockey game. It's just the way it is now. Like, I hate the Yankees. I hate the Dodgers. So
Why do you
why
hate
bother?
the Dodgers, Les? Why do you hate the Dodgers?
because they're arrogant and spend all their money and can't win, but
Because they're
still hate
smart.
the Dodgers.
They're
So-
smart.
Wait,
They're not
hold
as
on.
arrogant.
Hold on.
You can stay, Rhett.
They're not as arrogant as the Yankees are. Like I love the Yankees, but
Yeah.
you know, it's a swagger, right? But it's like we talked about with Soto. You've got to be borderline, you know, cocky, because like let's face it, you got the whole nation watching you, and you're up to bat. You're down to your last strike. You foul off 4 pitches. Like it is just. You know, you have to believe in yourself so much, and
You should go into the Yankees change room
Clubhouse?
before the
Yeah.
first
I
game.
think I
That's
should.
a hell of a
I think I
speech.
should. Right?
Assistant to the traveling secretary, Gary Ray.
Yes.
I'll tell Rhett why I hate the Dodgers, but he's not old enough to remember Rick Monday, so
Oh,
it goes back. I was an Expos fan growing up,
Okay,
so
that makes sense.
right.
you know,
Right.
Rick Monday on
Fair.
a Monday,
Fair.
he ruined the Expos year. So one of their, they had a chance.
The
Another really arrogant team is the Padres. Did anyone watch the NLDS?
Tatis.
Yeah.
That game 2 where we lost 10-2, that was something where Flaherty and Machado were going at it. Profile was getting thrown at stuff from the fans. Benches didn't clear, which I'm surprised.
Thought
But
we were gonna have a hockey
Fernando
brawl.
Tatis, Machado, and Profar fill in the blank.
How about that catch by Profar in left field there on Betts?
That was,
And it was-
crazy.
well-
and he almost did it again the next game.
Yeah, yeah. But
This is crazy.
what I loved about it is everybody, including the announcers, didn't know if he caught it.
No one
Like
knew.
the way he reacted, and it was like, where is it? Oh, right, it's in my glove, and then he, flips it back into the infield. Like that was
He was
classic.
jumping up and down the living room because we thought it was a home run.
Everyone did.
Everyone,
he was-
even the fans did.
Including bets.
And then,
Right.
and then
Yeah,
foul.
Betts is rounding
Oh, yeah.
second with his fist in the air, and then maybe he caught it.
But yeah, you've seen the videos of Tatis out there gyrating in front of fans.
Well, and he was in the dugout mouthing off the LA fans. Like he's another level. Like
is,
is
and-
where you get guys like Soto. He's internally competent. He doesn't yip and mouth off the way like now he was. Saying a few things under his breath to the pitcher as he was fouling those pitches off. But it wasn't in a way like, Tatis Jr., literally mouthing off the fans and goading them, and Machado throwing the ball just to stir up shit in the Dodgers dugout.
Machado's a disgrace.
He's so good, though.
Yeah, but he is good. But he's just, I don't know.
You love having those guys on your team, though.
You got to love the rivalry, though.
They're like
Absolutely.
They're the villains of
Right.
the whole MLB.
Right. But if you had a chance to get Machado to play third base for you, like, come on.
For his paycheck, I don't know.
I
find him, I won't say extremely average, but I don't think he's the pivotal player he thinks he is for the amount of money that he's making. Now, every time you sign those type of contracts, all the expectation goes up. I'll refer to Aaron Judge right now with him hitting 167 in the postseason. But he's money. At some point, you're going to get what you need out of him.
Those guys
Soto,
want the limelight.
100%. Brett, with your team, up and down 1-9, there's going to be some magic there. So I think you're going to be a little bit surprised of how your team shows up, Rhett. And I appreciate your honest opinion about what's going to happen, but
I'm gonna stick with it. Yankees in 7.
Yankees in 7.
Yep.
Okay.
So
I just think they have the pitching.
I
Fair
got
enough.
one for you, Gary.
What's
They were
that?
talking about it this morning. On the Yankees, you got Judge and Soto. Okay. Let's say they were both in a contract year. Who do you take?
Wow. That's tough. Like, I don't know.
We'll leave it with you.
I don't know. What do you think Judge is going to, or not Judge? What do you think
Soto,
Soto's going to sign?
He's
for?
going to set a record.
They're talking.
So
So the bar is Ohtani at 700
Yeah.
for 10 years, but now that's including pitching.
Well, that contract is so stupid, anyways. With
So
the
I'm
deferred money.
So I'm going to take a whole other angle to this, and I'm going to think, how old's Judge? 33. Say he's 30 to 33.
Okay.
Soto's 25. I'm taking
Yes.
Soto.
Yeah.
I
Because
just
of
am.
age.
Just because of age.
Yeah.
Well, and I think Soto's the more rounded. He's not going to hit
Agreed.
60 home runs, but I think he's a more
Yeah.
well-rounded player.
He can place
The
the
Judge,
ball,
yeah.
which doesn't happen a lot with those heavy sluggers and hitters anymore,
It's
right?
32.
32. So I'm taking Soto. That's my opinion. But it's strictly based on age, because I don't think if you go back with the stats, you're going to drive yourself bonkers.
And I just think Soto, he'll set the standard for positional players. He's not going to get the stupid contract the Dodgers gave Ohtani, because how any team can give out that kind of money so back-end loaded is it's not.
You know what's like
creative.
unbelievable.
It is, but it's wrong.
hang on. I got Ohtani on the phone here.
What's unbelievable
Does
about
he want me to play some bets for him?
how many people do you know under the age of 25 that turn down $440 million and make the right call?
3. I know 3. 2 of them are from Stratford. Just kidding.
But it's like, in 99.9% of the situations, you would have had people going, where do I sign? And he just believed in himself. Like, this isn't his first rodeo. He won a World Series with Washington. And so, like, he's seasoned.
Soto?
Yeah. And so,
In my opinion, and Rhett, when I say this, I don't mean any disrespect to Ohtani, because I think he's absolutely special. But I just think Soto just brings that different angle. And listen, 50-50, all this these great numbers. Ohtani's money in the bank, and he really is. I don't like either one of them, but if I had to choose, I honestly would take Soto. Just on a few different merits. And that's just my observation. It's nothing against Ohtani or Soto.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to get you fired up either, right? But
I have a question for all of you in this table. Will Shohei Ohtani be better than Babe Ruth after his 10 years in LA?
wow. That's
like numbers or
Everything.
just
Pitching,
the overall
numbers.
picture?
Everything.
Again, we're getting into this comparing eras.
It won't work.
It's
it
really
doesn't
hard.
work. It doesn't work because we don't have the video evidence for Babe Ruth. We have his stats, but really, he was a different type of player.
It was just a whole like you look.
He was
at
never
Babe-
going to steal 50 bases.
and it's a great question.
Yeah.
Matt. There's no question. It's a great question. I think the thing that you look at though, like first and foremost, look at Babe Ruth's physique and look at Ohtani's physique.
True.
And, like honestly,
and their lifestyle.
Well,
exactly.
and then
Smoking and drinking.
and then
to,
you look at
you know,
womanizing, I remember.
I didn't hear that part.
Ohtani's womanizer.
Yeah, Ohtani's a womanizer, right? He's got a thing.
No, he's
it's
got-
not
he's got
just
an
a gambling
interpreter for that.
problem,
Down at the dog park.
right?
Yeah.
He in the movie The Babe. I don't know if it actually happened or not, or if they did it just for movie purposes. But I think it was George went, Norm from Cheers that played him. But they said he's at this party, and whoever the president of the United States was at the time, and he says, "You signed for more money than I make," and he goes, "I had a better year than you did."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like he was just a one of a kind.
I just don't think you can compare the two on a level playing
It's
field.
hard.
yeah, it is hard.
We're all too young for Babe.
Oh, yeah.
Right. We
Way
just
too young.
Right.
we go back and watch our black and white movies, and
Yeah.
we're gonna see more of Ohtani over
Yes.
the next 10 years.
Otani's a unicorn in this
Yeah,
day
I
and
believe
age.
he is.
And how old's Otani?
30.
30.
Is
30.
he 30?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
But in this day and age, he is a unicorn. You got to remember, he started out in Japan, right? Like,
For
Right.
Yeah.
when you, and I'm just asking,
Yeah.
when you say unicorn, do you mean kind of like a fantasy player
he's
almost?
30.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like, you don't get a player in this day and age that can pitch and hit the way and steal bases the way he
100%.
does.
No
Like, if you
question.
guys noticed the other night, he was in the bullpen,
Yeah.
throwing in the bullpen, a side game.
Yeah.
So he's ready for the World Series.
I would love to see him come in
I hope he
because
does.
they have
I hope he
their
does.
options are getting so
in
limited.
Game 7 to save the game.
Oh,
Right?
it'd be amazing. Man.
Very good chance he
Just
could
like
pitch
Japan
at least
over
one game.
USA. Japan over USA.
Right.
and-
Yeah, I
and
forgot
World
that
Baseball
he
Classic.
might be able to.
Yep. He
with
struck
the
out
elbow
Mike
hit.
Trout to win it, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
it was
you know,
Ohtani versus Trout. It was an
They,
amazing.
He
time.
threw,
And how do you
62
feel?
pitches in the
How do you
side
feel
bullpen,
if you're
so-
Mike Trout? Right, you've signed for all that money, and has he ever played a playoff
No.
game? I don't
One,
think
I
he
think.
has.
One.
Yeah, that's
Has
right.
he won?
Yeah, that's
No, it didn't.
A wild card game.
I think so, yeah.
And
Jeez.
you know what?
He got paid.
There you go. You have to think. So this is the mentality that I would think about. What did he sign for? In and
400
around-
million.
It was
something
silly.
like that.
440 or something,
Yeah.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
When you sign that amount of money, you have to understand that they can't put a team around you. Like you have to understand that.
Yeah.
It's like Dak Prescott in Dallas. $60 million, and he can't figure out why he doesn't have a 1-2 wide receiver.
And C.D. Lamb, they
100%.
paid him. But
Like-
geez, we forgot that we need a running back.
Well, and a safety and
Right.
all the positions you go through. But Mike Trout, I don't feel sorry for him one bit, because if he had the passion for the game, passion for a team, and passion for an opportunity for a World Series, you're not signing a 440 contract.
Right.
In my
And they
opinion.
had Ohtani, like it was Trout and
Yeah.
Ohtani for
Well, when
years.
you sign him for 440, they probably go to his interpreter before he got nailed for betting. You're out.
Outrageous. That's outrageous.
It
he
is.
Never, he never
All-
betted.
He
That's
bet through
false.
his he bet
It's
through his
false.
interpreter.
It's
You'll never
false.
hear
It's
the
not
real
true.
story.
Fake news.
But
What a freak.
all Mike Trout does now is open ball cards and hits winners there too.
Right.
The pack. He got a big card out of the pack, his own signed card.
Mike
Right?
Trout's
He refuses to eat the gum. He gives that to the players. He just wants the
Might
cards.
be poison. Like
I
Putin's
question
food.
Trout. Like I mean, I love him as a player, incredible ball player, incredible athlete. I don't know where his head's. Like, why did he sign there knowing that he's never going to get anywhere?
Exactly.
Like, I thought a guy like that would want to go to the Yankees 3 or 4 years ago, or go to the Dodgers.
That's just maybe where he wanted to stay. He
No,
had
and I
the
get
family
it.
there and
Yeah,
everything.
I
and
get
Well,
it.
it's like Holly said. He was either going to the LA team or the other LA team.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, and Holly said it well. He's an absolute creature of habit with everything that he does, because everything has to be habitual with how good he is.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he goes and gets his coffee at the same place. He works out at the gym from 11 till 11 or whatever it is. But
Yeah, he gets his fall off.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
That's right. It's,
All right.
so other news, Pete Alonso acknowledged that he loves New York, being a free agent. So we'll see where that one goes.
Right now, he loves New York. until another team
Oh,
annies up.
I love
but
New York. I love this team. I love playing in Queens.
I like Alonso, like classy guy. Doesn't get into any trouble, and at least reported trouble. But they've got a good team, and if like, who would have thought that they would have did what they did? Like, they were on death's door a couple of times, like against
July.
the Brewers.
Yeah, by the end of July, I think they were out of the picture.
Yeah,
They were. Yeah. I was watching clips of the fans throwing stuff. And
right.
they were done.
Yeah.
And
Well, when the pitcher, I forget his name, when he got pulled out of the game and threw his glove into the stands and told the media he was the worst teammate ever. And that was the turning point.
Yeah.
And then cue Grimace
there
and
you go.
so I heard something funny, Rhett, you probably know this, but they said that in LA for Game 6, they refused to let anybody dressed up as Grimace. And
my God.
I forget what else there was a couple of things that the Mets love that they were making sure, for superstition purposes,
how'd that
they
go?
weren't coming in. It went pretty good. So
Hey, Rhett, do you know Ryan Klumpner?
I do.
Yeah,
he
says
gives you a shout out
All right.
on
then.
YouTube Live.
All right.
Also today, they said Montreal is not an option for the Tampa Bay Rays due to the $5.5 million renovation on the roof. at
They're
the Olympic
doing that
Stadium.
renovation.
They already started it.
Oh,
They're
my
going to
Montreal.
Oakland.
Aren't they building a new stadium for 2028 or something?
In
Yeah,
Tampa Bay,
Saint-
yes.
yeah.
St.
They
Pete.
just moved to a minor league stadium for a few
Well,
years.
that's,
Well, they're trying not to be a joke like the Utah hockey team.
Utah's actually good. They're like 3-1.
4-1.
4-1.
Oh,
Four
there you
and
go.
one.
Yeah,
Right.
and doing
I
it
think
easy.
they're
Hey,
Utah's going to make to the
they
playoffs
sell
like the
out.
Kraken did.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah.
All right.
maybe they could share the same stadium with the A's in Sacramento.
Yeah,
It's another joke.
have a road game.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Well, best of luck to both of you for your teams, and I guess we'll see the rope-a-dope Yankees
Awesome.
on Friday.
Go Dodgers.
Red,
Friday,
I'm gonna
8
say
p.m.
the same thing. Yankees in 7, bro. So
Yep, Yankees in 7.
You said Yankees 7?
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I'm gonna take the Dodgers in 6.
Smart.
I just hope ball's over by November.
I'll go Dodgers in 6 as well.
Yeah.
I think.
My
Yeah.
ball season was
Dodgers
over.
in
I think
6.
May the Jays were out of it, so that's when ball ended.
April? You sure
Oh,
it
might
wasn't
have been,
April?
yeah, pushing it to say May.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Take a little.
Take a little breather, and I guess we'll go with some of our sponsors, our generous sponsors.
Yes.
So I'm gonna read off the board.
Yeah, read them off.
One of our biggest sponsors is Reboot Repair. They house us in here in their location at 155 Erie Street. Cam and Dylan do a great job with on-site, off-site, in-store, cell phones, repair, all of it. You name it, they can do it. So we really invite you to come in and have a conversation with them if you have any computer needs or system needs. And I apologize, I don't have my paper in front of me, but I'm doing my best.
Yeah, they're two great guys,
Yes.
and they just treat us so well. We come in on a Monday
Yeah.
night at 5:00 to set up, and it's just on the table. We just have to put it together.
Yeah.
and
It's
we-
all ready to go. If I could just press start stream, we'd be better off. But
Yeah, well, we'll work on that in
Yeah.
practice.
yeah.
Yeah. And we also have Brighter Vision, our friends at Brighter Vision, counseling and psychology, counseling, if you will. And these people really help people who are in need with any type of mental wellness or rehabilitation with, the utmost importance, especially, these days with lots that can go on. They are very noteworthy, and we invite you to have a conversation with them if you have any, just needs if you're not feeling 100% about things with mental wellness or whatever that looks like. And I really apologize for the vague descriptions.
All
but,
good, all good, brother.
but,
It's my fault
yeah,
for
no,
not
no,
bringing
just-
it. So
it's all
Stop in on Erie Street. Give them a call. Go
yeah,
to see Sherry.
wonderful,
They'll
wonderful
set you
people.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rhett, do you like casserole?
I do.
Yeah. If you go to St. Mary's or Stratford location at Joe's Diner, they run it every now and again on their daily specials that are available. The Myers family, wonderful people. My favorite is the number 4, 2 eggs over easy.
the Perth
Bacon.
County.
I like the Perth County breakfast. Really.
Okay. All right. So we'll go with that.
Yep.
Anyways, guys,
Nice and traditional.
Yeah.
the official breakfast, lunch, and dinner diner of the Armchair Chirpers.
So Friday night, Joe's Diner in St. Mary's was packed. Meatloaf night, as usual.
Holly
Brian
mentioned
Hawley
that.
said he got in there and he got the last piece of meatloaf before he came
my.
over to the game.
Wow.
So he said it was busy. And he said all the Stratford people were over too because they were out of fish and chips as well.
Yeah. Well, that's always good to hear, and it's not surprising. They do such great work in there, and I mean, I work beside them every single day, and you see the amount of people that go in, and you know, there's a lot of examples where people go in for breakfast, lunch, and when they're open for dinner, they're open. They go in breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, great crew, great family. Thank you so much for your support, guys. And we're gonna stop it right there for this session, and take a little breather. We will be back.
All right, and we're back, folks. Oh, we were talking a little bit there in the intermission, and we're, just talking around like we always do. Some things we can air and some things we can't.
We really wanted to thank everyone who we see the regulars that come in and tune in at 5:30 with us live on our YouTube channel. So thank you so much for your support, guys. And if you feel like texting anything to us, we do get it on our phones. There's probably not a lot to say, but again, we really wanted to thank Chris and Rhett Chessell. Rhett, you're officially the youngest guest on the Armchair Chirpers, so congratulations with that. And appreciate all your knowledge, and we're really happy for that. But we're a little bit into the NHL schedule now, and I don't know, Les, from last year, and some of our observations and opinions. Yeah. I don't know how we keep messing this up.
I don't know either.
It's unbelievable.
It's a gong show. Where did Calgary come from? What is going on?
We didn't even want to talk about them in the season preview
Calgary because everybody had them down at the bottom, and this team is on fire.
Yeah.
And Winnipeg.
They're
They're the last remaining undefeated team.
Yeah.
Come on.
Unreal.
What else is new?
I just don't get it. So tonight we got one game in the NHL on Amazon Prime, and I heard a lot of people whining about it, but get the 30-day free subscription and do with what you want after it.
I'll tell you what, it's better than the Apple TV for the Jays broadcast.
Terrible.
So Amazon doesn't do a bad job with. I watched the Habs game last week. It was fine.
The problem is that with baseball especially, there's a lot of seniors, older people that watch baseball traditionally.
Yeah.
Good luck trying to get them to.
It's funny you
sign
should
up
say
with
that,
Apple.
Razor, because viewership in the NHL up to this point is down 28%. The one guy said on Sports Talk out of Philadelphia, he goes, "You got to search for it every time. Your home team isn't playing on the regular channel that you watch it on.
Right.
Careful what you wish for."
But they did say the first Amazon game, the Monday Nighter, was one of the highest rated games so far. As there is only one game tonight, tomorrow night is hockey night in America again. All 32 teams in the NHL play starting at 6 p.m.
Oh, wow.
with Tampa Bay.
Is there an A on that for America, or is it America?
America.
Yeah.
America.
Starting at 6 p.m., Tampa Bay starts it off. And then the late game, the Kings and the Knights, are 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. our time.
So we talked about that last year. Yeah.
I'm not staying up to watch that.
No.
But
okay.
It's great. You want all the teams, but it just does it, there's one game on it. And then Tuesday night, there's hardly any games on again,
Yeah.
You got two teams that are on the back-to-back.
But that's even if they're not start. Are you sure they're starting at midnight?
Yeah.
Eastern,
Our time.
which would be
it's a 3-hour time difference.
9 Pacific. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like
Wow.
playing North Oxford Men's League out in Embro on a Sunday night. That's about as fun as stubbing your toe on a bedpost.
They did it
Yes.
last year, and hopefully we'll get the same stats we did last year.
Yeah, that was cool.
Well,
It was
because you
kind of
went
wild,
through
the
that.
stats they released.
They
for
must have
last year's
had
Hockey Day in America.
Wrangling Brothers in at the Staples Center before the Kings game. Why the heck would you start it at 9 local time? Right?
Well, 'cause
That's crazy.
Yeah, the thing is, they just want to spread it across, right? And there is,
I guess,
there is one all-Canadian matchup tomorrow. It's
Toronto doesn't play tomorrow.
Yes,
do
they do.
They do?
They're in Columbus.
Oh, they're back to back.
They're back to back. Two teams are back to back. Toronto and Tampa Bay.
So NHL.
Yep.
You've got Nashville. You've got Colorado. You have Edmonton. What's going on?
Jeez.
Another slow start by the Oil.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're predicted to win the Stanley Cup. These I don't understand. Colorado isn't even on the same planet as they were last year.
Colorado's got serious issues in net.
Yes. Yes.
Huge.
Gregorov
Yes.
is done.
Yeah.
I don't. You got
Stuart Skinner material.
Yeah. Makar's just lighting it up. He's got
Yeah.
12
Well, so is
points, right?
Rantanen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they just can't put together a full 60 minutes.
Well, I think all four of those teams you just mentioned have basically the same problem. It's the net, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Soros is out, right, for
Yeah.
Nashville. So
Yeah.
all of a sudden you don't have a nice number 2. And man, oh man, it is.
But they can't score.
Unbelievable.
Like Nashville's only scored 10 goals. In
Stammer
5
got his
games.
first goal on the weekend.
I honestly think the only team in the standings is where we thought they were going to be, or San Jose.
Where are they?
They're 0-4.
Yeah, they're last.
Wow.
And that's where we thought they were going to be.
Right.
But it's just so weird. Like, you got Colorado, Nashville under Chicago. Chicago's 2-3. It's still early. You're only 5 games in, right? But still, this is...
How about Nikita Kucherov?
Yeah.
What's going on with him?
Well, just lighten it up like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
free.
Yeah.
Jeez.
The
Like he hasn't
Tampa
missed
Bay
a
hasn't
beat.
missed a beat.
Hasn't missed a beat.
No,
Like, and
they
that's,
put on Gutzel, him and Pointer. Give me a break.
Yeah.
And
That's probably one of the top lines in the
next
NHL.
Monday night, Stamkos goes back to TBA. So
Does he?
I
Okay.
think you mentioned it on the last show. I can't remember if it was Holly or one of you guys, but you guys said that Stammer's going to miss Point.
That was Holly.
Was it
Yeah.
Holly? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're really seeing that. I mean, Stammer's an unbelievable hockey player,
Sure.
but he's not a spring chicken.
Now, is he playing with Marcia Show?
He started. I
Did he?
haven't paid
Okay.
attention
he
to the last couple.
was on the line with Marshall to
Yeah.
start, but
He was
They've-
playing
they've-
with Forsberg on the weekend.
yeah,
when he got
they've
his
just
goal.
dumped everything in. It was Forsberg, Stamkos, and Marshall to
Yeah,
start, but
which just sounds.
I
like
think
it
they've
would be
moved
good,
Marshall
but-
off the line.
Yeah,
They've-
I'd be like, okay, we'll try that.
Sure, sign me up, right? But I think you're seeing that bit of age with Stamkos too, right? Like,
For sure.
not having those kind of guys.
Well,
around
and,
him.
and in his defense, like, yes, he's older. He's 34 years old. But, like, man, oh, man, he was playing with Pointer and Kucherov. I mean, Gutzel stepped in there and just goes, wow, I didn't realize it was Christmas, my birthday, and New Year's Eve in the same year.
Yeah.
Like, beautiful.
Yeah.
And they're absolutely dominating.
Yeah.
You got McKinnon still. Like, he's got his assists at 9. Rantanen's got 11 points. But, I mean, it is a wild stat that I saw today was the teams that start off 0-4, 0-5, 1-5 don't make the playoffs. They haven't made it in,
Really?
25 years, I think it
Really?
was.
Oh, my-
Like, something silly.
Wow.
But then entered the room Edmonton, who last year was crazy. right?
Stanley
So-
Cup finalists.
Yeah, you look at the Eastern Conference, and the standings are pretty much status quo in the East. Like in the Atlantic, you got Florida, Boston, Tampa Bay, Toronto.
Yeah.
That's
Sounds
year
about
after
right.
year after year, right?
Actually, it's Florida, Boston, Tampa Bay, and Toronto's got the wild card.
Yeah,
But
but I'm just saying.
okay,
That's the way it's been for the last couple of years. And then you got Jersey up on top in the Atlantic, but they're
Yeah, like Keefe's doing a good job
Well,
early in the season.
well, he's got all the talent on that team in the world.
Yeah.
And Markstrom, he's really
Huge.
solidified the back
Huge.
end
When
of
you
that.
got a tender that can make that first save
Yep.
consistently, that makes a huge difference because now the team can turn around and wheel it up. They don't have to worry about softies going in, but
And a healthy Dougie Hamilton helps too.
Yeah.
for sure.
No, they're good.
it's all about the defense,
Yeah.
right? I will say, just objectively, I've seen Oliver Ekman-Larsson in Toronto.
Yep.
I will say the Fairweather fan in Toronto doesn't understand his profile or where he's been, what's happened. He's had a lot of turmoil. He's
Yep.
had a lot of different things happen.
Well,
Man, oh man, he's played what
He's
3, 4, 5 games with Toronto, and he looks like he's ready to go.
yeah, he's been really steady. Like, he started out his career in the purgatory. No, he was
Florida
Arizona.
or Arizona. Sorry.
Yeah.
So he's in purgatory, started his career. He went to Vancouver as being touted the savior and just didn't catch on in Vancouver. Then he went to Florida and learned how to win and was steady for the Panthers. Great in the
Paul
for the
Maurice
Panthers
has a
last
way
year.
of just molding guys
And he-
into being hockey
100%.
players.
100%.
And he's coming to Toronto and just been steady.
Yeah.
So you knew we were going to go here with Toronto.
Yeah.
Something that I will say is this. With your team this year, I think the most scary part about your season is that Berube doesn't even have them dialed in yet.
Oh no,
They're 3-2 after 5. Whereabouts
deal.
we thought they
No-
would
no
be,
big deal.
right?
Yeah.
I'm satisfied where they're still trying to
Yeah.
figure out his systems and get used to
Well,
and
here's a portfolio of I guess let's say the core 4, and I'll leave Tavares on that for now. But they brought in Mike Babcock on a float, the Messiah, everything was going to be changed, right? And that was the truth.
Sure.
Didn't work out. Obviously, some bad examples of some decisions he's made over the years. And then you brought in Keefe. Well, Keefe was a favorite because of the successes he had with the Marlies. He knew some of the players, including Riley, Nylander, all those guys. Soft. It was a country club atmosphere.
Right.
I guarantee you when Berube went for his job interview with the Toronto Maple Leafs, he goes, Shanny, if you're bringing me in here to be a puppet, it's not going to happen. If you want some opportunities for success, this is the way I work, and this is the way it's going to be. It's a yes or no answer.
Yeah.
And you can tell that, and I'm telling, like, it pisses me off to have to say this, but they're not even remotely dialed in yet,
Right.
and they're 3-2, blah,
Right.
whatever that means. It's the ebbs and flows. Stolarz all of a sudden looks like an all-star.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they've got deep goaltending.
Oh, chess.
They've got the
I saw your
biggest
eye sweat.
no-name trio of goalies. And
No name? I don't know about that.
Well, Stolarz, he's a career backup. Wall,
He's a
he doesn't
no-name.
have And then what's the other guy?
Did he pull his heartstring in training camp? There?
He might have. The biggest name, Matt Murray, 2 Stanley Cups. He's down in the minors.
Yeah.
Right.
On a
Like they don't
two-way.
even need him. He's number 4.
Yeah.
So who's their backup with Wall out?
It's
Hildeby.
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 Hildebeest.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
got the hockey card, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're done.
Yeah. I got it in my spokes. I drove it over here. I was over at Dixon's getting my hockey cards before I came here.
Oh, yeah.
Borrowed a clip and put it in my spokes
get
on
it.
my Sakini bike that I got at Wheel Goods. And
Nice.
There you go.
yeah.
Real good.
I just like the other day, Berube calls the timeout and then just lights them up. You know,
I
That
love
was
it.
Great.
I love it. Like you guys have probably seen that Paul Maurice mic'd up there in the playoffs. F this, F that. Like, and guys respond to that. Like, it's not the I think I can play league. Like, you've got to be a man and take the abuse. Like, I don't know if you guys watched any of that 49ers Chiefs game where Brock Purdy, the star quarterback for the 49ers, threw 2 interceptions in the red zone. Like, that could have changed the whole game against the defending Super Bowl champions. Rumor has it that Mike Shanahan, the coach, goes up to Purdy in a stall and for 5 minutes chewed him a new hole in front of everyone. Purdy just took it.
Yeah.
Good for him. He knows that he's out of line, doing that. You can't do that at that moment.
Yeah.
And so I like it that Berube's showing expression. That's not something you want every night because you're going to tune it out, right? But you pick and choose your spots and you have the guys, listen. And I think I'll be shocked if the Leafs aren't they're not going for a wild card.
Well, let's be completely honest here, and we went through it last year. It's not about the regular season
No.
at all,
Well,
and we still have our $50 bet, right? For the Leafs not making the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, perfect. Okay,
Absolutely.
Les didn't answer.
You
so
honestly think they're not going to make it?
I just want you to sweat in January when they go 0-6 on the road on the Western Swing. They lose in San Jose, and
Oh, man.
I gotta admit, I was dumbfounded. The season opener on Sportsnet, they had their table of experts sitting there, and
I know where you're going with
I
this.
think there was 5 of them at the table, and I think 3 or 4 of them picked Leafs, Oilers in the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah,
And
I don't know if I'd go that far.
But they either had one or the other, or a couple of them I think had them playing each other. And I said something to Jeff about this. It blows my mind because both teams' goaltender is well below average,
Right.
and that's where it starts. And I just
So
cannot
good.
believe these guys who are paid to do this.
to get
every
paid
single-
and have been in the league. In
and
Right.
they have
examples.
experience. They have the inside scoop. They know
Yeah.
what's going on in the dressing room. They talk to the players. They know what the coaches are saying. And they can still sit there in front of a national audience and pick teams
Straight face.
like Edmonton and Toronto and be serious. And I'm not
Well-
a Leaf fan. Everyone knows that. And I'm not even trashing the Leafs directly. It just blows my mind that all those teams in the league, they're out of 5 guys who are experts, that many guys still pick Toronto and Edmonton. And
Like,
that's
you
just-
need a
it's-
guy.
including Jeff O'Neill.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he knows
O-Dog
his stuff.
is he
knows
I love
his stuff.
O-Dog. but
Hayes, Brian Hayes.
yes.
Like these are intelligent hockey
Sure.
guys. He texts me after the pregame.
O-Dog?
And he goes, no. Chester from St. Mary's. And goes, Russ liked that one apparently. But anyways, he goes, I can't believe it. Like I can't believe, and it may add to the delusion
Right.
of Fugazi dust. It takes so much
Fugazi,
more.
Fugazi.
But it takes so much more than I just think what they have.
Right. And
We have the season to watch it unravel.
like you look at Shesterkin there Friday night, lights out, like that glove save on Johnny
Rangers
T.
had no business winning that
Right.
game.
No.
Not
Right.
even close.
That goes to show you the power of good goaltending.
Toronto's
right?
got the same
Hides-
problem they had last
Plus,
year.
plus.
They can't score. All of a sudden, they can't score again. But there's a lot of teams that have that problem right
I think
now.
it'll
They
come.
can't score.
Like,
It
I
will.
think
For
it'll come.
sure.
And Edmonton's going to figure out a way to get some wins. They're
I
going to
think-
start putting in 5 or 6 goals a game because they have to.
Yeah.
And that's a tough way to live.
Now, do you think
Toronto's not going to go to the Stanley Cup. They need a deep run first.
Yeah.
that's right? If they get to the third round, now you've got my attention, and we can talk about it. But they got to get out
They
of the
need a
first
building.
round.
They need a building block, and you guys, you speak relatively intelligently about your team, but a healthy run is necessary before anything else happens.
Absolutely.
Right? And,
Absolutely.
and that's just fair to say with any team. Look at Florida last year.
Yeah.
Right.
They were in the Stanley Cup final before, and I'm sure Paul Maurice took them all golfing and then took them to a dinner after and said, how does that feel? I'm sure this year Knobloch took Edmonton and said, did you see our captain on Face-Off on Amazon Prime? How his blood pressure he went through the roof?
Yeah.
You need to step it up or else it's not going to happen. Now, I don't know what the heck they're going to do because Stuart Skinner is
It's not there.
terrible.
He's not a number
He's
one
terrible.
goalie. He got hot at the right time last year.
Barely.
Like,
Can you imagine if they had a 7 out of 10 goalie in that playoffs? It would have been a lot.
ever
Closer.
since Fuhr and Ranford, like they haven't been able to have a guy in the pipes like they.
Who'd they have that one year though when they went to the 06 there? They went to the Stanley Cup.
They've had a few guys between Fury
Yeah,
and Brantford.
yeah. Like take it
But I
easy,
mean,
Razor.
carry him like to.
Oh, they did. Rollison.
Dwayne Rollison.
Yeah, in 06. They
Yeah,
went to the Stanley
he's-
Cup final, Razor.
I know they lost in 7 to Carolina, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
say Rollison carried them. Like they had a pretty solid team. Like Pronger was on defense, and like they had a pretty good team. Yeah, obviously you need
Michael
goaltending,
Pekka, yeah.
right? But I just think back to like Bill Ranford. Like they were on the verge of getting knocked off by Winnipeg. I think it was in the first or second round.
Yeah.
And then he found his footing, and he ended up being the
Pulled it
Conn Smythe Trophy favorite,
Yeah.
or won it, I think.
Yeah.
But
So what about Washington? 3-1 already.
They're
that
playing
surprises me.
good hockey.
That
It's
surprises
the
Talk
Tom
about a-
Wilson show
No kidding.
is what it is.
Yeah.
The guy's all of a sudden, he's not fighting anymore. He's just scoring goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many's Ovi? Ovi got his first the other
Yeah,
night.
he's got one.
one.
He's
yeah,
got
yeah.
one. It's gonna be tough.
I
It's
don't
gonna be
think
tough.
you know what? If he does, kudos
I don't even
to
know
him.
anymore if I hope he does because it's getting to the point. Guys, he's 40 years of
I
age
know.
in the NHL in a young man's game. You've got 18-year-olds.
Who's getting him the puck?
Exactly?
Right. Backstrom's gone.
It's all about the record. That's all it is. with
That's
him.
why
But
he's
The
there.
team is playing exceptionally good hockey.
yeah,
right now.
they're off to a good start.
Any
what
thought,
a-
Redster?
Go Canes.
No Canes.
I haven't watched much NHL, so
No, you're right.
That's
dialed
why I'm
into
quiet.
They've only
that's
played
okay.
twice.
I haven't
The
focused
Canes
on
have only
MLB more.
played, sorry, no, they played.
And that's all right, Rhett. No worries because you're dialed
They
right
played
into your
4.
hometown links. We'll get to them
Yeah.
in just a little bit.
I'm
Don't
ready for
worry.
that.
No.
I'm ready for that.
There's a lot of people that were texting me saying, "I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about Highway 7."
Yeah, we'll get
matchup."
there.
So-
We'll get there.
The power rankings this week, there's some movers, like huge movers. The Winnipeg Jets were 14 last week. They're second.
Didn't
Crazy.
we
The
go through
biggest-
this last year?
The biggest move, but the biggest move are the Calgary Flames. They were 31st last week. It's early. We keep saying that because it's true.
I'll quote
right?
Brian Hawley about the Jets. Meh.
Yeah.
Hey, I
But
give
with the
Shovel
Jets,
day
it's
off.
not even Hellebuck who's
Yeah.
sealing the deal. It's the other kid.
Yeah.
Well, after 90 some games last year, we couldn't figure out who
Yeah,
the Jets
exactly.
were.
Yeah.
I still don't know who they are.
Something to note too is with Mr. Crosby and Malkin in Pittsburgh, they are only the second duel in NHL history to score 500 goals each on the same team.
Crazy.
Pretty wild. We don't even have to say
Crazy.
the other two.
So next Friday night, Crosby's in Edmonton
Is he?
against McDavid.
Nice.
Yeah,
That'll be
so
good.
Nice.
if you
Not to discount that, but do you want to take a guess on the other duo that scored 500 on the same team?
On the same team?
Lemieux and
it don't-
Yager?
No.
Gretzky and Curry,
Did you know that?
Nope.
Okay,
just
That would have
guessed.
been my guess.
that's who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to
kind
say
of
Brett Hall and Bobby Hall, but they didn't.
I wasn't
Goals
sure,
and-
though, if it was Gretz with him going to L.A., but
Yeah.
that would have been my guess, Gretzky Curry.
Yeah. So, you see Sid get older, and I don't know for sure if there's a bigger example of a professional in the league like Sid.
Unreal.
And I'm not discounting other examples, but just Sid with the spotlight. Gary Roberts was on Spit and Chicklets a little while ago, and when he played there, he walked into the gym in the morning, and there was nobody there. Brooks Orpik was there, and he goes, Brooks, like, what the hell? Nobody works out here? They heard skates on the ice. They walk out, it's Sidney Crosby. Gary Roberts goes, what the hell are you doing, kid? He goes, I didn't like the feel of my hands last night. He was out there an hour and a half before anybody came out. And that's just habitual
Right.
obsession of being great.
Yeah.
He's just such an amazing example of a hockey player.
Well, did you hear Biz was talking when he played in Pittsburgh when he
Yeah.
had a cup of coffee there, and he said that when I finally made it into the starting lineup and wasn't one of the black aces, he said once you're in the lineup, folks, there's the odd optional game day skate.
Yeah.
And he said, normally you can go, okay, wow, we played last night. He goes, when you're in Pittsburgh, though, they say it's optional, but in your head, you've got Crosby, the first guy is out there for the optional skate. He said it wasn't optional. You had to be out there. When your captain's out there, like he said, you can't take a day off, right? Like you just feel like you're letting him down. So that was pretty funny. But
Sid's, his career's been so, like, lately, like you said, Jeff, like the respect and just how he plays the game. He does everything right. But if you think back when he first came in, he won the cup early, right?
Yeah.
Was
it 09?
Yeah. Do you remember he didn't shake hands in this?
He
handshake
was
round?
I'll put it this way because I won't disrespect because
No, he did it by accident, but
no.
Yeah.
But he needed to be groomed
he did
better of how he acted because it was terrible.
Yeah,
It was
remember
terrible.
It was a huge thing. So it was 09? Okay.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
when they won or they lost?
They
They
won.
Okay.
And he got caught up in the interviews and stuff, and then he totally missed the handshake line. And the other team
Wow.
was
It was Detroit, wasn't it?
and
Yeah.
all these vets
In Detroit.
Yeah, so Lidstrom and all these
Yeah,
guys,
Iserman.
they all had stuff to
Zetterberg.
say about
It wasn't Iserman, but it was like
Oh,
Zetterberg,
Zetterberg,
Datsuk,
Datsuk.
those
Yeah,
guys.
Yeah.
and they all had something to say about Sid, and that was 09.
Wow.
And you look at how Sid's progressed from there.
And that's
how he learned.
proof.
And that's
Right,
like
right.
every young, whether it's baseball or hockey, doesn't matter. You have to take those lumps and learn because you come in, like Sid came in as the
Yeah.
greatest player on earth. At the time, I was coming out of junior hockey, and
No, thanks for bringing that up.
That was
Yes, like,
exciting,
honestly-
though. Like
Yeah. But
there was
he's
that
done
flurry
so
at
well.
the end. Flower made a couple of game stoppers, like at the end to preserve the win. And,
Yeah.
oh, that's
Just
great, yeah.
insanity. That was great.
that
That
was
was,
Just a quick look here at the point standings. I don't understand why Colorado is so bad. You got Makar tied with Reinhart and Panarin with 12 points each. Then you got McKinnon and Rantanen with 11. And you got Malkin with 11. Rounding out the top 10 is the greatest Leaf of all time, Jared McCann.
Wow.
Stratford
With
boy.
who?
Seattle. He was the greatest leaf of all time.
Did you say Colorado or Seattle?
Seattle.
Oh, okay.
Jared McCann.
I don't
running
think
up top 10.
Colorado's too upset about the points they're getting. I think they're concerned about being 28th in the NHL.
Well, their Bettner was his
Jared Bettner.
post game interview the other night.
I love him.
There was
I
a lot
love
of
him.
beep, 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 and he was not happy, and he's every right to be that way. But
I think it's just goaltending less.
yeah,
You know, all these teams that are
Gregorev's
struggling
just
right now,
not.
it's just not
he's-
there.
Yeah,
The goaltending's not there. And
yeah, that seems.
a lot of
to be
these teams will
what's
get
hurting.
fixed. It'll get straightened around. But, yeah.
There's a lot of teams
Yeah.
having issues at the goaltending position, and it's not even the teams that you thought would have the
No.
problem at the goaltending
Well,
position.
no,
Look
Yeah.
at Nashville, right?
Well,
thought
yeah,
their
that
goaltending
guy
was
you
gonna
think
be
they'd
No,
solid.
but Soros is out.
Yeah,
So what happened to him? Lower body.
I'm
But
not too sure. He's just
okay.
out. They haven't had him since game 2.
Okay.
But you look at some of the lower teams here, and Detroit's off to a slow start again, and they're getting pissed in Detroit because they're expecting better things.
Yeah.
All of a sudden Anaheim's 2-2. Like they're all of a sudden winning games that they weren't expected. Ottawa, everything's still out for the jury to decide. But when you get off to nice starts, like I'm looking at Utah at 4-1 after 6. They
Right.
got 9
Wow.
points. Like that's just the things you have to do. I was
they were
thinking
so
of
happy
you-
to get it to Arizona.
I was thinking of you the other day, Les,
Yeah.
because those seats that we've been talking about, they're actually
Oh, they're
ripping all
selling.
that out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
they're
they are.
ripping all
Yes,
them
they are.
out, and
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
redoing them.
They knew they had to.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
How
Like,
about Tim's Blues are 4-2?
They are. And they're
Yeah.
playing well.
Good.
Yep. The new additions are doing really well.
Yep.
Bromberg is doing great. Holloway got
Holloway
his
scored
first
a heck
goal
of
the
a
other
goal
night.
the other
Yeah.
night. Oh,
Yeah.
that was a
Beautiful.
beautiful goal.
Yeah, and we've mentioned it before, but with Tim being on here, it's kind of contagious with the information that we find out about his team. And for those who don't know, he's an assistant general manager for the St. Louis Blues. And man, it was just contagious what he was talking about.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
talking about different players and all this. So, they're expecting big things out of Thomas this year. They're expecting big things out of Buskevich, I believe his name is. Fun to watch.
Bennington.
Yeah. Big. It's a big deal.
So we've been talking to Tim, trying to get in on game day skate interviews and stuff like that. So we'll keep you posted and see.
Yeah. He said maybe not. He said, "Why don't we just leave it at reboot repair?" Your number one choice.
He said,
for
"I'll
computer."
ask Army. Don't call me. I'll call you."
They are going to the Cup just because we got the invite.
Right.
We have it on
Why
record
not?
too.
We have it on record,
If they go
Tim,
to the Cup, Tim said
This
that
is
we're
our
going.
pumpkin seed.
That's right. There you go. That's perfect.
This is our Tigers pumpkin seed.
He goes, "Why are you keeled over there, Jeff?" I said, "Because I'm hanging on your every word there, Charles. Don't worry about it. We'll find out." But
Well, they're in Toronto and coming up in a couple weeks.
They are.
Yeah, yeah. I'll have to see if there's any tickets for us at Will Call. I'll keep you
Oh,
posted.
I texted him. He said, "Wrong number." I said,
He goes, "Who?"
I said, "Is this Tim Taylor?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Okay."
He goes,
Point taken.
lose this number. I said,
Yeah.
all right, fair
I
enough.
thought this was Tim's number. Oh, it is. It's the wrong number. Okay.
I love it.
Good
That's
stuff.
great.
Oh,
So,
come on. Trying just to check out the office pool standings.
Oh,
oh,
see
geez,
where
I
we're
love
at,
getting
right?
all those. I got to see who's in
How
the
you
top
doing,
five.
Rhett,
I'm
in the
like,
pool?
I'm like 7th, I think.
well,
Oh,
let's
you're
go.
ahead of
St.
me.
Mary's.
I got to hear.
Oh,
You're
yes.
ahead of
That's
me.
cool.
Yeah.
So we got Jenna Kaslik, Mighty Penguins.
Wow, she's
at
leading?
135 points.
Wow.
Killing it, and she's been up there for quite a while.
That's awesome, Jenna.
My client Tim Watson, the upset, he's a Colorado fan.
Crime Dog.
Yeah.
Next.
Crime Dog Jason Career. Shout out Jay if you're listening. Appreciate it. Aaron Chadwick, Chatty, he's in 4th Shanker in North Carolina right now. I said, "Hey, are you able to come on the
What's he
show?" He
doing
goes,
there?
"Why don't you never mind?"
He went to North Carolina without me.
Well,
I'm gonna
exactly.
kick his-
Well, that's a discussion for you
Yeah,
guys to
we'll have a
It's
chat,
little
Shank.
bit-
How's Flip from Mr. Sub doing?
Flip from Mr. Sub? There's
He's,
26 teams, and you're in 31st. You're in 15, Razor.
Okay. All right.
Where
I'm
you
sitting
last year,
in 13,
13th,
tied for 13. I
and
think.
I'm in 22nd.
Oh, jeez.
Same with the Habs fantasy team, James Chappell,
Love you, James.
24.
Don't worry about it. Brian Hawley, last minute Larry, last place, holding up the grind.
Wow.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Shocking.
It's early. It's
Shocking.
But
early,
it is
folks.
so tight
Yeah.
because it's 135 in for first place and 95 in last.
Okay.
So
And
it's
So
all
only
good news.
40
And really,
points.
like everybody was saying last week, I took Matthews and he's not scoring. I took McDavid and he's not scoring.
It'll come.
Those
When-
guys are
but when
gonna
they
come
start scoring,
around.
though, everyone's going to get
Yeah,
those
that's
points.
true.
Over
It's-
under Matthews 25. What do you think for goals?
this
Over.
year?
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh.
Holy.
25.
Is that like before November or
Well,
Okay, I'll
let's
take
not
that.
go
I'll take
that way.
I'll take the under on that.
No kidding. But
definitely? No, he's not going to get 60. Playing this
you'd
defensive
be
system.
The problem with that comment is I've seen him score 10 goals in 3 games.
Right.
Like it's
Well, it's-
silly what he can do.
It's like I said 2 weeks ago. I said, what's going to happen is, he hadn't scored at the beginning. I said he was going to get like 2 or 3 goals. And I think it wasn't Saturday night, but it was a game before that. I forget who they were
where he
playing.
flopped on the one and then rifled it.
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
it's silly.
And he had 2 helpers. So he had a 3-point
and then
night.
Saturday night he scored a goal, and
That was nice coming out from behind the
and
net.
Janet's like, he can do it whenever he wants. Like
He's so good.
and that wasn't an exaggeration.
But like
he's
that one that
good.
you alluded to, he fanned on it,
Yeah.
but recovered it,
And he goes,
was-
he shifted a bit. Watch this.
right,
Yeah.
stick side. Like he's just so good. That release is so quick.
Best
More
in the league.
Absolutely.
Yeah. More problems on the island. Anthony
Uh-oh.
declares out long term.
Ooh.
The old LOB.
Anthony Duclair.
He was on fire
Big
to start the year.
problems. Okay.
That is for the Islanders.
It is for the Islanders.
You know you're in
Fans, yeah.
trouble when.
Yeah.
No, it's all good.
Suzuki. I know I can do better. He's right.
Zook.
He's capable of more, and he knows it.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, like everybody else, Cole Caulfield's out to a small off
Oh,
to
he's
a slow
great
start.
start in goals. Oh, he scored some goals.
Well, you can score.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Some people don't think so, but here we are.
Right.
All right. Are
Shall we
gonna,
take a break
cut to the
to
chase?
come into finish her off with
Right.
the juniors? And,
Yeah, we'll do
the
that.
Irish
Take a break
Direct.
and do the Battle of Highway
Right.
7. That is
Better,
something that you don't get October playoff hockey. We got
Yes.
it last week.
Right. I can see them in the video screen there. So you had already talked about what SBS Metals. SBS Metals, premium care or
Fabrication. Yeah,
metal fabrication.
They also had a great time at the VIP at the Irish
Yes.
game.
Yeah.
They were there the other week, and I spoke to Kathy and Dennis at the game, and they had a great time. Ladies and gentlemen, we would really encourage you to follow their Facebook and Instagram. They've got great examples of what they do for any type of custom fabrication. They also do a lot of maintenance with the city of Stratford. Great people. Not
Excellent.
to cut in razor,
Excellent.
But,
And
Yeah,
if
Kathy.
you have an idea, they can make it out of metal. Dennis can do it.
I'll talk to them about that rocket ship I wanted.
Yeah, he probably would.
Domino's Pizza. We can't say enough about the great people at Domino's Pizza. Patrick and his team do a great job with locations on Ontario Street and Huron Street in Stratford. Great quality pizza at a great price. Keep in mind, too, if you're following us on our Armchair Chirper channel, you can drop into our world headquarters at Reboot Repair in Stratford at 155 Erie Street. Pick yourself up a free complimentary courtesy of Patrick 3-topping large pizza. It's very generous of Patrick and his team, and we encourage you to do that.
Yeah, if you don't feel like cooking that night, just make sure you go on to our YouTube channel and subscribe and take a screenshot and bring it into Reboot Repair, and the boys will set you up.
It's not instant sweepstakes, Razor. Like you've got to come in before if you don't feel like cooking that.
Absolutely.
Full disclosure.
Absolutely. I'll let you talk about Janet Lang.
Janet Lang. She is a real estate agent / broker in the lovely town of Stratford and surrounding area with Home and Company Real Estate, my partner. And she does a great job. She has over 20 years of experience and has coined the phrase putting the real in real estate. And the biggest observation I have with being front seat with her career is she always takes the client's consideration first, which is pretty amazing. So Janet Lang, broker, Stratford.
She's got a real nice listing in Gads Hill. I drove through there today and saw her sign, and hey, that's a cute little spot.
Yeah, she's always so fortunate and thankful, feeling so fortunate and thankful for the successes that she has. She works very hard, and I'm always proud of her. So there's that, and a shameless plug for my barbershop, the Urban Barber, established in 2019. Full service barbershop. Folks, we are appointment based and do appreciate your patience when you have to wait about a week and a half to get in. So keep that in mind. We would encourage you when you do visit that you do pre-book. So if you know you're in every 6 or 8 weeks, just pre-book. It's done. We'll send you the confirmation and we'll send you a reminder
Or every 2 weeks.
24 hours prior to your visit. Mr. Chester here comes in every 2 weeks, and we give the nod. We don't even say anything when I check him out anymore. He's like, "You got it? Good. Yep. Little wink. See you later."
Just don't come in anymore expecting the Chicago. It's
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
The old
Chicago
Chicago hot
shave.
shave.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm going to miss that.
sorry to disappoint everybody. I've heard so much about that. I walked into hockey yesterday morning. Hey, can I get a Chicago hot shave? I said, it's not available, especially for you.
right.
That's Jim Savile for you.
And
Right.
we'd
City.
also like to thank Bentley's Bar and Inn, our #1 restaurant here in Stratford at 99 Ontario Street. They just recently renovated all of their rooms. They're awesome. Some of them have lofts. Great lunch and supper specials.
Cable TV. They don't rent by the
Cable,
hour.
They don't. Unfortunately, they discontinued that. So we're proud to have Bentley's on board with us, and we're still trying to get the Pickwick and Alibaba, but we'll keep you posted.
They
with
haven't
those.
called back. That's all it is.
So
And then we were looking for Krebs, and they haven't returned our
And
email. either.
Fatios.
we got another Chessell chiming in now.
Oh,
Brock
no.
Chessell's
Oh no.
Chessell's representing. Thoughts on the Pens? Well,
Brock.
we talked about that.
Oh, Brett's a
Mid.
Pens fan?
Mid.
Brock, yeah.
Brock. Yeah.
Oh, Brock. I don't know what else you need to hear. Sidney Crosby, man. I just pumped him like, it's free.
Yeah. He must
All
have
right.
joined late, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, that
Studying.
Brock.
He's studying, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's
That's
for sure
the
what it
excuse.
is.
That's what he told
Yeah.
Mama. Studying. I'm gonna miss the first
Yeah.
part.
Good stuff.
All right.
Okay.
So we're going to take a wee break, guys, and we are literally going to get into the meat and potatoes of the
Battle of Highway 7.
amazing last week and a half that's been in the Junior B League that these guys are going to let us know about, and we look forward to it. We'll see you soon.
And we're back. All right. We got a little excitement in the
I
go.
can't hear you.
Yeah, it says it's on.
I got nothing.
Yeah. Nada.
Oh, it showed us. Did somebody unplug that?
There we go.
Oh.
Hey,
Check, check.
All right.
Yeah, we're good now. The power.
We're good, we're
the
good.
power wasn't so powerful.
Yeah.
Might have bumped it. All right, we're back. I think everybody heard me, but these guys. The Battle of Highway 7 this past week, Wednesday night in Stratford.
Rewind
Rewind.
for your guest next week.
Oh, yeah, next week Jeff is away. We will have Brian Hawley, and I'm just getting confirmation, but I'll nail it down. We could have the voice of the St. Mary's Lincoln, Spencer Seymour, in the house.
Nice.
Yeah. That'll be good.
Yeah, we'll just make sure Brian gets him home.
Right.
It'll all be good.
Had the pleasure of meeting Spencer there Friday night in between periods
Yeah.
at the Lynx game.
Go for it, guys. Wait.
Yeah. The league got it right finally.
Yeah.
This is a rivalry that needed to happen, and it's finally happened. I did get to talk to Tim Simmons, the executive director of hockey operations, and the league's very pleased with what they saw this past week in Stratford and St. Mary's.
Oh, yeah.
But was it ever a question?
No.
Like we've heard Jason Clark in here, who's amazing in his position with the Warriors, and you know he's advocated for it for years, and you know I'm not speaking for him, but it's been kind of on deaf ears. And anyways, sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah,
keep
like
going.
over 2,000 fans in both games combined. It's you don't see that in October. It was playoff hockey in October is what we got.
Absolutely.
You know,
Like, it was
And
standing room only Friday night in the second game.
they had there was 950 there in Stratford for a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
In Stratford.
Yeah.
It was good. The thing is, it was great hockey. We didn't like Brian. I had Brian on the broadcast because he knows more about St. Mary's than me and the general. So, and we talked about we don't want to see a 45, 44 goals or shot game, but it was a 25, 24 shots on goal Wednesday night, and it was a close game. It's another one of those games where the score really didn't reflect what the game was like. Stratford. The Warriors have this bad habit of coming out in the first period just flat. Wednesday night they looked a little better. Friday night they almost reverted back to their
Because they started off 1-0, 2-1,
Yeah.
and then St. Mary's tied it, went up
went ahead
3-2.
3-2, yeah, and that was the end of it Wednesday. It's we talked about it a lot on the broadcast. Stratford's got 14 rookies. St. Mary's got 14 returning veterans. St. Mary's has 2 goaltenders, and I honestly call them 1A+ and 1A++ because you can't go wrong with either of them.
Right.
Rhett, it looks like they're playing them 2 games on, 2 games off. Is that what it's
Yeah,
pretty much been all year? Like Booth Hosko there Wednesday night, he made some fabulous saves. And then Friday night, Armelin, he was great too. But
No, it's been the story, right? Like,
yeah,
we've been to most games. Nico's, we didn't know what to expect. We knew Colby was good. We saw a very large amount of his games last year before Brandon Abbott took over in the playoffs. But Colby carried that team as much as anybody did through the regular season.
Yeah.
So we knew what he was capable of. Nico, high draft pick coming out of the Barrie. I think he got drafted by Barrie.
yes,
But
yeah.
we weren't sure what to expect. You don't know. And now that we've seen him for 5, I think, starts, it looks pretty darn good.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it'll be a tough battle down the stretch to see who is number one. But it's a nice battle to have, right?
Yeah.
When you can throw either one of them in the net and not have to worry about it too much, that's pretty much perfect. So
In a game like that, it's hard when we do 3 stars at the end of the game. It's really hard to, St. Mary's just played that much better. But Stratford, you were, like Cole Lewis, big goal Cole was dominant in the face-off in both games. He owned Spagnola.
Luca.
He owned him outright.
Where's he from?
Milton.
Him and
I was gonna
him
say,
and
that's-
Lee,
that's-
Him and
come-
Lee are from Milton.
Yeah.
That's
they come
not
to
akin
Milton
to our last name.
No.
It's your typical GTHL hockey name.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Lee come together from Milton.
Yeah.
Um,
yeah.
But Cole Lewis, big goal. Cole again scored Wednesday night, and he scored Friday night. But I don't know how the referees missed two. It was a delayed penalty, and I don't know how the referees missed two St. Mary's guys touching the puck before it went in the net. But
They got it right at the end, but
they did.
It
But
didn't have to be
it
the
took
way
it
was.
took way
Yeah.
too long
Oh,
to
yeah.
get it right.
But Stratford only had 18 total shots Wednesday night. Like that's not a whole lot of activity. And if I didn't see Wednesday's game, but if you're only getting 18 shots and just off the highlights and stuff, it didn't look like a lot of them were high quality saves. But not to take anything away from the kid, because he's obviously good, or else he wouldn't be playing in this league. But what I thought Stratford did well is St. Mary's was 0 for 5 on the power play.
And
that's not something
we talked about that Wednesday night, keeping St. Mary's off the board on the power play.
Right.
Because, first of all, you don't want to give them 5 chances.
No, that is they are the best team in the league.
Yeah.
Like their record, they're undefeated, right?
Yeah.
And they just took a back-to-back game against Stratford. Stratford looks at them and goes, "Okay, boys, like I'm glad we got that out of our
It's
system in
measuring stick.
October, and now they know where they need to be in order to compete against St. Mary. Like St. Mary's,
That's the bar.
they have set the
That's
bar,
the bar.
right? And so I thought, looking at the stats, St. Mary's was 0 for 5 on the power play. Stratford was 1 for 2. I thought McDougall played well in the highlights that I saw. Big goal Cole had another goal to open up the game. I like this Hodkinson. He's a big kid for
He
them.
is, but
He is phenomenal.
he left the game Friday
Yeah,
night.
I think it was his
really?
shoulder.
Did he?
Yeah, I think he
He
left
did?
with his shoulder.
he
Didn't
was-
notice that.
We noticed he was missing the last half of the second, and all of the third. He never came back.
Okay.
I heard Holly kept bringing up his name.
Yeah.
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 He's a a local kid, always dominant from age.
He's a big
5.
lad
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, always
That doesn't
dominant
hurt.
from the age of 5 right up.
Like he's big, like 6'3",
Oh,
198,
yeah.
Oshawa Generals draft pick. Like I thought he stood out on
he's got great
Friday
hands,
night.
great hands, knows how to score.
Yeah.
and a great passer too. Like he sees the ice. He's a good hockey player.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I haven't heard anything about his injury. I talked to his mom on the way out Friday
Okay.
night, and she said, shoulder or collarbone type of thing. So,
Right.
The old upper body injury.
right.
but we'll
Pat
find
Quinn.
out.
Yeah.
That's who coined that whole
Is it?
that whole analysis of injuries,
upper.
of
Really?
upper, lower,
Upper,
Pat
lower.
Quinn.
Yeah.
You would
That's
never
easy.
get away with that.
I-
With the amount of gambling that goes on in
Yeah.
the NFL, they have to say it's Aaron Rodgers' right index finger. Like it is so precise because of gambling that sways the money line. Now the NHL, they don't quite have
They'll
that
be there.
activity.
Yeah.
But well, see, they worry about, from what I've heard around the league and stuff, they worry about saying specifically what it is because guys have sticks in their hands and they can whack that spot, that area.
Yeah.
So they don't get as descriptive.
So, Rhett, you were at the game Wednesday night in
Yeah.
Stratford. What did you think?
Thought Stratford played well. I thought Lincoln's power play was not good. Problem they have on the power play is they don't shoot. They pass, and then there's a minute left on the clock,
Yeah.
and then they're scrambling. It's been going on for years, and they need to fix it.
Yeah.
But another thing they've done really well is bringing guys in from last year. They have 14 returning players. I don't know if is that correct.
Yep.
And Pat Powers has done an amazing job developing this team into, which I believe by the end of March, or end of February, I should say, we're going to be Western Conference regular season champs.
Well, right now, yeah. it
And
sure
I'm going
looks
to call
like
it right
you heard
now.
it here
I'm going to
first.
call it right now. It's going to be Stratford St. Mary's final, and it's going to be the greatest thing you have ever seen.
Well,
Oh,
that-
I hope you're right, brother.
That is the
we
dream.
want it. The whole world wants it.
I love it. I love it.
worldwide.
I love it. Everybody last year, Rhett, when you said St. Mary's was going to the championship, everybody was like, "Oh, that's a little aggressive." Brian Hawley, who's knowledgeable, big fan of the Lincolns, all that. He's like, "Oh, it might be a little bit of a homer prediction." You said it. It happened.
Right?
I hope you're right this year.
I
I hope
noticed
so, yes.
I noticed the Lincolns power play, and it could have been Stratford a little better on the penalty kill. They kept the Lincolns to the outside. They didn't let him into the middle.
Yeah.
Well, that was the first time they didn't. The Wednesday night game was the first game all year they didn't get a power play goal.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that
And
was
the
first
block
time.
shots.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
block shots this year by all teams that I've watched. In Stratford, in particular, like there's so many block shots. Pucks aren't getting through.
Slattery and Schooley and all these guys. Like I
Schooley
love
made a
their
block shot there
energy.
Wednesday night. And
Love
Right.
their
Yeah,
energy.
to the few
Yeah.
games I've been to this year, Schooley, man,
He's got
such
energy.
such a presence out there.
He does.
Veteran, and the team leans on him
Yes.
about that, and he answers the call. But he's smart.
I like
he's
how
smart about
You're
it.
right. You hit the nail on the head. He was controlled. Like he wasn't
Controlled,
wild
yeah.
out there, going around crashing back. Like he's not a huge guy.
No.
And so I loved it how his energy. He was going out there. He was picking his spots. Wasn't giving out cheap shots or anything like that. But he was just feisty. He was a great energy guy.
And a drag to be around.
Yeah.
like he.
You
was-
hate playing
he-
against guys
yes.
like that.
Yeah, and I just really wanted to say that because the last couple of games I've seen him, he's just been such a great asset.
Yeah.
and it's good news for the team.
Absolutely.
He had a couple great chances Friday night.
Oh, he
when the
did.
game was still,
Yeah.
I think
It-
it was still tight.
he's
He
got-
had two good chances, and if he would have buried those, it would have been a totally different game.
yeah, sometimes he just their penalty kill is him, when him and Cole Lewis are on the ice together.
Yeah.
They're just trying to dump it off the boards, and Schooley's going after it because he's got sneaky fast.
They don't even talk to each other out there. They just look at a nod or whatever it is, and they go to
They
it.
have that set play where Lewis just wins the face-off and the defenseman just dumps it. You can't do it as well in St. Mary's as you can in Stratford because of the higher roof, but they just dump it deep and Schooley just chases it down. He's sneaky fast. There's a
Yeah.
lot of fast kids. Like when Slattery gets going for Stratford, he can beat pretty much anybody in the league.
Yeah.
But you didn't think Zach Schooley was that quick, and his takeoff, his first two strides are what does it, and then
Yeah.
he's just gone.
Yeah.
And he's got a way to get in and around the guys too. And St. Mary's had a problem with that Friday night in the second period.
Yeah.
Was
All
St. Mary's had a problem Friday night in the second period with Stratford period. Stratford just came out
Yeah.
taking it to them
What
where they
were the
needed
shots
to.
last in the second?
26-2 in the second
Wow. Yeah.
for Stratford.
Well, Stratford's second period Friday was incredible, and
Yeah.
Slattery and Kipfer for being rookies, they're like
You could tell they've
Yeah.
played together for a while, right?
yeah, like they
Yeah.
impressed me. I haven't seen them play since probably Bantam with the
Yeah.
Lakers,
Like-
and they were just dominant.
Like Slattery's second in scoring on Stratford. Lewis is leading 9-7 for 16 points, and Slattery's right behind him 6-5 for 11 points. Like it's for a rookie. Like and he was out there killing penalties. Like he was Friday night. Like I thought that he did a great job, and it was just electric. Like I was telling Mark Tebow and I drove over. And I said to him, like,
You parked up at the highway, right?
We parked at St. Mary's Cement. we found a spot there,
You got the shuttle bus.
but it was like electric. Just from pulling into the parking lot, we had to go way out to the back corner to get a parking spot. The game had already started. Fans are still piling in.
Did you drop Tebow off at the door?
No, well, he was driving, so I asked him for him to drop me off. I'd go find us a good seat. There was no seats to be had, but no, it was just great energy walking into the old St. Mary's Arena.
There is something, I'll put the Almond on a pedestal, but I had my first experience last playoffs in St. Mary's. Wow.
Yeah,
What a environment
It's the smaller confines is what
Yeah.
it is.
yeah.
So the ice in St. Mary's and the ice in Stratford are identical. The only difference
The ice
is
size?
the ice size
Okay.
are identical. The only difference is the neutral zone.
Yep.
St. Mary's has that tiny neutral zone.
Very tiny. I'm looking at it.
What's
like,
the difference? Like feet? What? Like are we talking?
So
like,
nor-
Oh, it's
4 feet, or are we
No,
talking
it's
more
about
than
20
that.
feet.
Yeah.
So the
Seriously?
Almond Arena
Very
is only
significant,
about
yeah.
180 feet long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Normally it's 200.
Yeah.
And
I didn't
St.
know
Mary's
that
is 180 feet too.
Obviously, there's not guidelines. Like being honest.
Well, it's
Yeah,
the older
like
rinks. You can't.
like it's standard now.
Yeah.
Like any rink that is
Gets built now is
obviously
NHL size
is 20
usually,
by
yeah.
85.
Okay.
Or sorry, 200 by 85. But
Right.
yeah, back then, like the old Dufferin, the Almond, like it was just I think that's good enough. Yeah, let's put some boards up. Right?
It's Friday at 5 o'clock. Let's go.
Exactly. And so Yeah, like just
that's
walking in
wild.
there, I'm looking around, and it was electric. It reminded me when I played with St. Thomas coming in there, and St. Mary's had good teams back in the late '80s too. You know, Jeff Shipley, Greg Murray, you know, all of those teams and stuff. But yeah, like I thought that in the first period there on Friday night, Stratford had tough chances, like getting out. They couldn't get out of their own end.
Yeah.
St. Mary's just started like gangbusters. And I thought Stratford was, you know, lucky to get out of there. McDougall made some good saves. It could have got really out of hand. They were down 2-0, and then Stratford got a goal, and they almost tied it up there at the end of the first.
Yeah.
Or the second.
Yeah.
Second period.
The second period was a completely different Stratford
Yeah.
team than the first period.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and Holly called it because I was listening to you guys, and he goes, Stratford better figure it out in the second, or else this is going to get out of hand.
Yeah,
And
and-
boy, oh boy, did they ever.
Yeah, and we were talking. Holly and I were talking. Stratford needs a goal now. Stratford needs a goal now. And then they scored, right? And we're like, yeah, they needed a goal now,
Right.
Because they needed that goal to get 2-1, and then
Huge.
you know, because if St. Mary's would have been 3. If it got 3-0, then I think the second period and first 10 minutes of the third wouldn't have been the hockey.
And-
like that hockey that those two teams played both nights. You don't get playoff hockey in October in Junior B.
Yeah.
But it was wild.
Yeah,
And
no.
I think St. Mary's really turned the corner the last couple of years when they brought Jim Bradley on as the coach.
Yeah, not Jim.
No, yeah,
Jeff
Bradley.
Bradley.
Jim
sorry.
Bradley's playing again.
Jim Bradley's in
Yeah.
St. Mary's. What?
I thought he was lining at the
By
Irish game.
himself. Poor guy.
I
Well, Les,
we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4 years ago or 5 years ago, there was a local GM, Greg
Greg
Smale,
Smale. Yeah.
and he kind of started this. So we've lived there, 16 years now, right? And the first 10 years were unwatchable,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Right.
Most nights. Unfortunately, it was,
Charity games.
200-300 people there, and it was tough, right?
Yeah.
And then Greg came in as a GM, I think it was 6 or 7 years ago, and he had a couple of years, and he just started to turn the corner, and then Powers and Bradley came in, and they just took it to the next level.
Yeah.
But Greg deserves a bit of credit because he started
yeah.
to turn that. He started to bring people into the building, just even having the bar upstairs,
Yep.
and it just got excitement again in the town. But
Yep.
there was a lot of years where it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
So,
Creating a brand
Yeah.
is what they've done.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and it's good to see because, like we've always dreamt of this rivalry being a thing, and then
Absolutely.
it come onto the calendar. We're saying, okay, get ready for this, and it lived up to the billing.
Absolutely.
Both games.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, even though Stratford lost 4-1, I don't
The
think it was a
score
4-1
didn't
game.
reflect the game.
Well, and
Yeah,
it's the
yeah.
same with, and I don't want to take anything away from, how do you say it, Armelin? He stopped 45 of 46 shots. I don't think Stratford had 46 shots at him. Like, I and a lot of them were right in his gut. Like, he made, a lot of great saves because he was in position. He got a few, breaks. The puck didn't, if the puck went, 3 inches one way, it would have been a totally different story. He played well. Hands down, he played well. They've got 2 great goalies, like you said, Les. But I thought Stratford hit him in the chest a lot of shots, and I think that Stratford can build off of this. Yeah, they would have liked at least 1 W out of the 2, but they've got a lot to be positive about, and they can only go up.
But I think the 4-1 score in listening to the game that Les broadcast with Holly and the general, it's a difference between 14 returning veterans and newer faces to the team.
Absolutely.
I'm not creating excuses for the Warrior organization, but I also, when it was 2-1, it went 4-1 like that, and it's because the veterans on St. Mary's took
Right.
those opportunities
Right.
and absolutely buried it, because I also heard a couple opportunities for the Warriors
Yep.
where they got a little stage fright right around the net where they could have buried it. Those are fundamental differences of, an example of a team like St. Mary's who, let's face it, they're going to be there at the end of the year and they're ready for another run. That's just what it is.
Like, when it was 2-1, there was, like, a couple of shots. It comes back to Kelp at the point. There was a lot of traffic going side to side in front of McDougall, and Kelp just, let go a heavy shot along the ice. And I don't even know if McDougall saw it. That put him up 3-1. And then shortly after that, I forget who it was, came down on the right-hand side.
McClellan.
Yeah,
Yep.
right-hand shot, let a wrist shot go from the top of the circle. Now, I was saying to you, Chester, before we went on air, visually, like as soon as that fourth goal went in, there were some people that ground standing beside us. Being a former goalie, that was not like a bad goal scored on him. It looked bad, like he didn't go down and butterfly, but that was a foot off the ice on the stick side. That is the hardest save to make for a goalie, because if he did butterfly, the puck goes over his right pad, but below his blocker. So it was just a perfect shot. And I don't hold him,
and that's fair. And that's fair.
Yeah. So even though the score said 4-1, I don't think it was a 4-1 game. I think it was a 2-1 game.
Yeah.
And Stratford almost made it 2-2 there at the end of the second.
Red Star, you've heard a lot.
Yeah, Nolan Galda scored that goal late in the second for Stratford. Okay. This is a kid that he's a rookie. He's been in and out of the lineup, but
he's fantastic.
I like him. He stood out a lot.
Yeah, he played
Friday night. Yeah. I tend to find, if I keep saying the same person's name over and over, when we talk about the 3 stars, I tend to say, his name kept coming up. He was always on the puck. He was always digging for the puck. The effort was there, And there's some players on nights when I'm doing the play-by-play, their name just keeps popping up, right? And you had it with St. Mary's, like
Vandenbrink.
Or Vortman was the other one. Right?
Yes,
Yeah,
Vortman.
Vortman.
Like his name just kept coming up.
Yes.
The
Yes.
kid was
and I was saying
always
to you on
over
the
the
break
puck.
there last. What's the the captain from Milton?
Spagnola.
Yeah, I was listening
Yeah.
Friday night, and man, you just kept, and I mean this respectfully, but you just kept spewing his name.
Yeah.
Like the puck was following him.
Yeah, it was.
around.
Yeah.
And you look at their top 4 scorers, they're all tied for 13 points. Jaden Lee, McQueen Spence, McClellan, and Vortman. Like, they don't have one guy that's running away with it.
No.
They distribute the points over 3 lines. Like, they are a solid team.
So, Rhett, quick question for you.
Yep.
You're 16 years old.
Yep.
How long have you been like a diehard Lynx fan?
6 or 7 years.
6 or 7 years.
I think I've started watching them since 2014, maybe. Maybe 15, Dad. I don't know.
So
it was definitely
I guess what we're
around
talking
7, 8
about
years
is
old.
what your dad's saying about, like, probably when you were going at that time, it was like Friday night,
Yep.
having a good time,
Yep,
get some
just-
popcorn,
Yeah,
maybe.
just socializing with my friends. And,
Yeah.
But
And
now I go to the road games. I go to most road games within an hour and a half.
And for those who don't know, you're at the majority of the road games because your neighbor is
Chase McDougall.
Jason McDougall, who's a player for the Lynx.
So
Wow.
Who's his brother?
yeah, Carter McDougall. So
Les.
Wednesday
Yeah.
night, I had a chance to talk to Carter. And we talked, how his season. He's been playing well this year, and I said, okay, you get to face your bigger little brother tonight. And Carter goes, yeah, he is bigger. He says, but Mom likes me better. And so I said, what did Mom say before you left the house? Before you guys left the house? She said, well, if we fight, don't come home. And I said, well, you usually don't get the player on goalie fight. He said, yeah, but I drop him to go him.
I can see that.
So you've seen the evolution of your Lynx, right? Like they're going to be right back in it again this year, right? So
Yeah, they were just so close last year, but I think we should have beaten Listowel. I thought our games 2, 3, and 4 we should have won, especially game 4 where we gave up a 2-0 lead, 3-1 lead.
That was
you know what though, Rhett, too? It's proof even at this level how hard. And your dad said this so many times. It's hard to win, right? So the fact that you were able to get on that journey and be able to enjoy into the spring how far you guys went, like it's amazing. It's amazing. And even though we're basically Warrior fans,
Mm-hmm.
we pull for you guys. Don't kid yourself. We if we can't do it, we want you guys to do it.
Oh,
It's just
in
one
all
of those-
honesty,
Absolutely.
in
Yeah,
all honesty,
yeah.
I didn't want to see Listowel win last year just because
No one did.
we've had that rivalry for so many years with Listowel.
Right.
You never want to see the team from North Perth win.
Sure.
But
And I don't know if viewers or the listeners know this, but that's where Dave Williams and Clarkey used to be.
Yeah,
That's right.
And you
yeah.
talked to Clarkey about when they used to come in here on a Friday night with Listowel, and he'd have that glare, and that's why I think I still was intimidated by him, because he just was staring across at who was that, like Phil Westman?
Phil
and
was
those
probably
guys?
there.
Phil was
no,
the
it
coach
was
at the time.
Dennis Flanagan Jr.
Was
was
it?
still the coach.
first year,
I,
I
I,
think.
I think
Yeah,
it was.
with-
I think it was
Maybe-
whoever it was.
when they ended up
They
winning.
came in here with an agenda.
Yes,
Yeah,
when
right?
I remember because I was working down at the Almond at that time, and I remember when Willie and Clarkey came in, and they had a Stratford goalie as well, and they ended up beating the Culletons at the time. They ended up beating them in the league finals, and then they went on to the Sutherland Cup. But just Willie's had a winning record wherever he's gone, and
Yeah.
Good coach.
Well,
Yeah.
and we're fortunate to have them here in town.
Yeah.
The whole, Sutsi and Nectel.
Yeah,
How's
Knuckles, yep.
you're on the team, Pulse there? How's he fitting in?
He's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The players really respect him, and
Yeah.
he does. He looks after the lines he needs to look after, and that whole coaching staff.
Yeah,
You got Phil
Knox.
Westman there with all the.
Dave
Yeah.
Schlitt.
You got Schlitty. Like Schlitty is
Yeah.
probably the most calmest coach
Yeah.
you could ever meet.
Yeah.
But so knowledgeable with the game. I interviewed him as well, and he's got a pulse on how the team feels and how things feel. And
Yeah.
it was the 519 Sports Spotlight game of the week is what it was. And so usually the head coaches go down for the interview. Well, Schlitt went down and did it for Stratford because he's just so well spoken,
Right.
and the kids really look up to him. And he's always the guy on the bus, making sure the kids are all on the bus. And, do we got enough? So it's kind of interesting.
Did you guys take the bus to St. Mary's?
Yeah, it was.
Was there a team?
So
Why?
here's the-
Why?
here's the-
Why?
Was there a team meal?
Royalty. Holy
So-
moly.
The funny thing
was there
is,
a team meal
there is. They get food after the game, so there's always food.
in Stratford or St. Mary's?
St. Mary's. Right
What
after
would
the
they
game.
have?
I don't know what they
Sally's?
have. Sandwiches this
Susie's.
time, I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's funny. Stratford added a
Shawarma.
new kid, Hudson Bender.
Right.
He goes by Bender. I was talking to him on the bus after the St. Mary's game, and Chase Furlong, their new goalie. And so I said to him, "Oh, this will be the shortest bus trip ever." Chase goes, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, we'll be there in about 20 minutes." He goes, "What?" I said, "Yeah." And so after the St. Mary's game, I said to Hudson, I said, "How'd you like that?" And he goes, "That's a great bus trip." He said, "We needed the win, but." He said, "I'm used to 6, 7,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
horrible.
my.
16-hour bus
Oh,
drives."
my.
Because Hudson Bender come from Saskatchewan. He was playing in Saskatchewan.
Oh, jeez.
I used to live in Winnipeg, man. What do you want to know?
Winter peg.
Nothing. Not
That's
a
what
damn thing.
nightmares are made of.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
folks, circle your calendar. December 13th, Friday, December 13th at the Almond Arena. I expect a good house.
Yeah.
And
I'll
It'll be
there. I'll be
a
there.
great
It'll be
game.
good.
I think it'll be
You
it'll be
along for the
another
ride there,
playoff game
Redster?
in November.
What's that?
You coming to that game by chance?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Attaboy.
Stratford's next game is Thursday night. We're in Sarnia.
okay.
That's a W.
So
I'll get you
Yeah.
back.
That'll be an
long
easy
trip.
win.
I'll get you back on track.
Yeah, it's just a late bus ride home.
No
I'm not
pressure,
looking forward to
Redster.
it.
That's an easy win.
That's an easy
Yeah.
win.
We got a couple interesting ones coming up.
We got Chatham on Friday, and then
And they just added some
KW
goaltending.
on Sunday, and then
So
Chatham needed goaltending.
Chatham
They can score.
just
They got the
stepped it
Sarnia
up
kids,
a lot,
so-
eh?
Chatham's getting hot, so we
Yeah,
gotta be
they're gonna
ready.
good.
To
They're
go.
not out of the mix yet, and yeah, we got Caledonia,
Yeah.
and I'm really looking
Caledonia
Yeah.
might give
So,
us the first.
another
I think.
thing, on the broadcast, in the first intermission, I had Tim Simmons on, and we talked about the realignment and how they finally got it right with Stratford and Save. But he also mentioned something that I found interesting. He said, now that we have 8 of the 12 making it, you're going to get more of these rivalry games. He said,
Yes.
but the biggest thing we did is we cut it down to teams only facing each other 4 times.
Yeah.
When teams were facing each other 6 times, they noticed they were having problems
Gets out of hand, yeah.
in the 5th and 6th
Oh,
games
yeah.
when it got out of hand. He said, so this will cut down on that. Makes the playoffs straightforward, which is 100% correct.
Well, the last few years we get deep into the season, and you're playing Kamoka or St. Thomas for the 6th time, and all of a sudden your best players are getting suspended for the first 2 games of the playoffs
Right.
and garbage like that. And That's the kind of
Yeah,
stuff
and
that they get out of
this'll-
the game.
yeah.
It'll help.
This will cut down on stuff
I
like
think
that
so.
because you're only going to play each other 4 times. In the second intermission, I had a lot of text messages about our second intermission broadcast because Razor's coming up the stairs. So I said to Holly, I said, give him the
on.
mic. Yep.
Oh my!
So we gave Razor the mic, and
I'm
then
glad I was live and not
and then
at home.
Spencer come down because
Oh my!
during the
Yeah,
games
it
at
was
St.
good.
Mary's and in Stratford, I'll either go down and talk to him or he'll come up and talk to me just so we can see where each team's at, right? And Spencer come out, and we had a great time.
Yeah, it
You
was
know,
good.
Spencer's hilarious sometimes.
Oh yeah!
It's just he's got a dry humor about him. Too.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
had
guys,
never met
like-
him before.
I'm gonna say it. He's a pro.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
he's
so good.
He's
Yeah.
so good.
Well, and we were pumping his tires too about his call.
I heard-
Yeah, we were
last-
I heard-
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it
I
was
heard you
good.
come on there. I said, "How many Miller Lite is Razor
Right?
have?"
You know
Just
what?
kidding.
I'd only had a couple.
Just kidding.
But it was. I thought it was a great second intermission.
It really was.
Yeah,
last
it
It
was
went
good.
smoothly because we talked about like this. It was like this, right?
Yeah.
And Brian was there, and the general got in on it too.
Yeah.
Right?
Awesome.
You know, we just had fun with it. But I found doing the game in St. Mary's, you're right with the crowd, so it's
Oh,
a little harder to. You know, we had people stop. They'd be stopping at the top of the stairs.
There
waiting
was
to go to
no
their seat, right? And I'm
paneling
sitting there
around
going,
you.
Yeah.
And Brian's going.
That's
"Move,
the one
move,
thing they
can't
got to
see."
do
Yeah.
is invest in, an area for radio
Yeah.
and in TV. Like, like now that they've got it on, what is it, a Flow?
Yeah.
Like they've got to, get an
Well,
area.
but
Designated
Les, you were
area.
saying
Yeah.
like with you and Holly,
Yeah.
like where were you? Was it air that they like?
We're down in the corner and
Couldn't see.
You couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
Like,
Jeez.
it's,
There's
yeah,
no,
that's
uh,
ridiculous.
it's in a bad spot. I think honestly, every team should have a spot with a hardwired internet there
Yep.
that can be used.
Yeah.
Because I go into some arenas and I can use the broadband stick, and it works fine.
Honest question, Chess. Do they have internet in St. Mary's?
They do. They do. St. Mary's public Wi-Fi.
But some arenas I
pretty
go
funny.
into, yeah, some arenas I have to find a hard plug-in for our Wi-Fi tower to be able to get on the air, and luckily this Wi-Fi tower works pretty good. I can put it on the far end of the rink,
Right.
and still pick up on it. But because most of the newer arenas are the worst because they're all tin cans, right? So-
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Spencer says the same thing.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, he does,
Google
yeah.
review.
you go
right
down
there.
to LaSalle too. Like you go to
Yeah.
LaSalle or some of these places, and they don't have any internet, and the game's in and out, and it's just you would
Yeah.
think that 519 would be able to pull some strings and
'cause
say, look,
Spencer and I, we talked about how I saved his bacon last year in the playoffs, and the first game in Listowel, he had to do it from the bus because
that's
he couldn't
right.
get any signal.
That's right. Yeah.
And then
Wow.
I got in touch with him, and I said, "Look, I said we have something that works up there. I'll get a hold of it." And we gave him the Wi-Fi tower to take up because that's what we used in the championship series. And he goes, "Oh, you saved my bacon!" Like,
I think that was all Listowel's game plan. They were just trying to get in everybody's head.
We'll
No,
go
it's
full,
everything thrown
full
up.
circle for any junior B team that needs a little bit of Wi-Fi. Reboot repair.
Les, I got
some
Stratford,
questions
for you.
155
Yes, sir.
Ontario Street.
Any
questions for you,
municipality
Les.
that's having Wi-Fi troubles, reboot, repair.
Cam and Dylan will
And
take care
invest
of all
in
your
horns.
yes, Brett,
All right, I got like 4 or 5 for you.
4 or 5 questions. That's a lot.
Ooh.
Okay, 1.
Yeah.
How did you like the horns at St. Mary's? 2.
Well, it was loud. Trying to call a game when it's really loud, it's kind of hard. But
I think they
It was
should
okay.
go like 4 or 5, 6,
A
7.
little
I thought the
Decibel- bring a
announcement,
decibel bit down a little bit.
the
Okay.
announcer needed to bring his decibel down a little bit. He was
It-
Former
it's
mayor
hard.
Jamie
Yeah.
Hahn.
Red,
Yeah.
I
Is
liked
that who
it.
it
That's
Yeah.
who it is.
I
yeah,
liked
former
it.
mayor.
It's hard when you're out in the stands when you're broadcasting.
Oh, yeah.
And you expect it, and you expect to get drowned out a bit, but I have to bring my octave up a little bit, and then sometimes it's like, oh, can't hear anything.
You gotta let the game call itself.
Well,
The
it's-
goal
it's
goes
harder.
in. You know, there's going to be 30 seconds.
Oh,
of
I know.
horns, so you just let
Yep,
it play
I've-
out. Let
yeah.
the camera do the work, and then you fill it.
Right.
It's. I always tell people you don't know what you
Thanks,
have
Chess.
till you go somewhere else.
I'm a rook.
right.
You know, you go to the Almond and you're in the press box and you're up high and you can see the whole game. You can see
Right.
the plays develop, and you don't get the loud fan noise because
Yeah.
you're
You're
the
secluded.
place from it, right?
Sorry, Red.
Okay.
didn't
Oh,
interrupt.
I got
Let's-
more questions.
Red.
Yeah.
What is your favorite away rink and least favorite that you've been to?
Well-
and the away rinks you haven't been to that
Okay,
you look forward
so-
to going to.
We
Nice.
do the hot dog test
Right.
at the arenas. Who has the best hot dog? I haven't been to all the Western Conference rinks yet.
Yeah.
So far, the hot dog test would be Galt Gardens in Cambridge and Air. Air has crispy toasted bun.
Nice.
It's like a Pie Petrie, hot dog
Papa
review.
pie.
But so far, it's the almond.
You're gonna hate the Chatham Memorial Arena.
I've been to Chatham
You have?
years ago. Yeah.
But when you broadcast, they're gonna be blowing air horns
I know.
when nothing's happening, and the
For me,
fans
but-
there are worse than the Stratford fans.
I'm a
Stratford.
And only the
Right.
ones that sit behind the penalty box.
That's the asylum.
The asylum.
I'm
thing.
100%.
Ask Jerry Harrigan about that, Brett. We're everywhere.
Black
brother.
turtleneck and all.
I'm really partial to the older arenas.
Yeah.
The amenities are nice, like Brantford, the Gretzky Center. That arena is a very nice arena, and they have a press box that I'll buy, but it's a cinder block room, and it gets hot in there.
Right.
You can't open the windows or anything to get the crowd there. So there you have an arena where you can't get the crowd noise, so you can't play off the crowd feed
Right.
and try and get the crowd feed on your broadcast as well. It's kind of difficult that way, but I know we go to the Stapleton this week, and that'll be interesting because.
Oh, yeah.
I know
It's
it's not
good,
the
though.
best arena, but
They have a loud horn just to warn you.
Do you
You
get
went last
a
week.
pass when you walk in, or how does
so
that
I
work?
have a pass if I need it, but usually I just say I'm on the broadcast team and they let me in.
Okay.
If they don't,
That's what we got.
They're not looking for the $9.
yeah.
Right.
And if they don't, I got that big heavy bag with me, like the one lady in London. She goes, "Well, how do I know?" I said, "Well, you can check in there." And she goes, "Is it?" I said, "It's heavy." She goes, "Okay, you could just go on."
Yeah.
I do have a pass that gets me into the arena if I need it. So
Right, you were at the Stapleton last
Yep.
week.
Yeah, there's about 700 people. I'd
Yeah,
say.
that's pretty good.
But it
crowd.
looked empty, like
Where's that, Brett?
Sorry.
Sarnia.
Sarnia.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
here's a question for you, really quickly. For the ones that you've been to, where are some that ring bells for you? What do you like?
Least favorite, I would probably say either London.
or Strathroy.
No, not Strathroy. London.
I like London.
I don't.
Western
I
Fair?
love the
Western
Western
Fair?
Fairground rink.
London. Sorry to say it, Stratford.
Better than you guys.
It's iconic.
Well, Rhett, I guess we've
Well,
had a really nice time.
Is that door open?
Thanks for coming.
Bye
everyone.
bye. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, there's
Just
one
kidding you,
more.
bud. Is it because of the rivalry?
Because they
Rhett?
won't let you
No,
have your
bec-
air horn.
They won't let me with my air horn.
Yeah, well, that's not a team thing. That's the city. So
Well, that's their problem. They should fix that.
I get it.
Yeah.
We're gonna
And-
take that to the.
We'll
main-
take that to
and
the
third
mayor.
least favorite would be Listowel, because
I like the Kerr rink. It's
I
nice.
It's a
mean
nice
it's,
rink, but it's a terrible
Considering-
atmosphere.
but
it's
yeah,
the same like
but
Sheffield.
considering what they had,
Oh well.
the memorial was tiny,
Yeah, it was
and
like
you took your
Dufferin.
life into your own hands standing
You
up.
played there.
Yeah,
That's
right
the old
there.
one.
Oh yeah.
'Cause the
I had
standing
fans
room-
spitting on me.
Yeah, the standing room at the memorial, you were standing right at the glass level.
Oh yeah.
And there was no net around it, so you took your life in your own hands watching a hockey game.
It was kind of like the old Rotary where you
Yeah.
had the chain link
Oh,
fence.
it's the
Remember
best.
that?
Yeah.
They didn't have plexi.
Yeah.
The thing
But-
about London and some of these, and even Listowel, the newer, nicer arenas, it's like a ghost town.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't get the
Yeah.
atmosphere.
Like
I
we've
said
been-
that in St. Thomas though.
Yeah.
Like St. Thomas was,
oh, there's nobody there.
there's nobody there.
It's because they don't have a good product, right?
Right.
And that's
Do they have cars?
Gary
in St.
Ray.
Thomas?
Yeah.
Gary Ray's not coming back.
He's not.
He's not coming to
That
raise the
legend.
cup.
I did-
Glad
They
I
did
can
look
wait
for
all
the-
they want. You know what? About once or twice a year, I get people texting me, "Hey, man, I was just down in St. Thomas. My kid was playing there, and I saw that picture
So-
of you with hair."
I took I took a picture and I meant to send it to you and I think I actually deleted it now. But I took a picture of the Thornton banner and the Dan Cluche banner,
Okay.
and then we're gonna put a space in. We're gonna put the Gary Ray
Right.
banner in there.
Well, you
Because-
know what? It's.
You know, it's
I actually I had like a brush cut on top, and then I had the mullet at the back.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was the
oh
80s.
yeah.
In that picture?
Yeah. In that picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
obviously, you weren't single.
I was at the time. Yeah.
It was better that way.
That's what they were asking for at that time. That was in.
all right, Ray. You got some more because I only got two. Anyway. Did
You had
have
3
one more?
questions. You got 2 more. Was there 2 more? If you
You
don't,
said
that's
3,
cool.
4, 5.
I think I'm good.
Are you good?
Yeah, no worries.
I
Good
did-
job.
What don't besides the horn? What don't you like about Stratford?
Well, the fans won because there's this one guy
Like you.
who sits near the penalty box, left hand side. He's got a Warriors jersey on. It's red.
Oh, I know exactly who that is. Yeah,
and
I don't
just
blame you.
Chirp, chirp,
Yeah.
chirp, and there's
Just
like
be quiet
and there's
and
some
watch the
Stratford.
game.
there's
Does he have a rubber chicken and he's a
Yeah,
former
he was
police
just,
officer?
every time we scored, he was going like this, and they play that every time we
You
scored.
know
and
who that is, Razor.
Doug. Well,
Yeah.
it used to be Doug Hughes, but it's not him anymore.
Tim Bell? No.
No,
And
it's
and there's
God
some other
bless
there's some other fans who were sitting behind the penalty box, and when Barch got thrown out for that hit, they were just giving him the middle finger.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
terrible.
why?
See, I don't.
Time to clean that up.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't base. I don't base
the
my.
security at the Almond needs to do a better job.
Well,
Well, we don't have
it's
any.
not going to happen, Rhett.
she
I don't
walks
think so
around-
anytime soon.
Be thankful
It's,
Les is in the broadcast booth,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because if he wasn't,
Yeah.
you'd hate him.
yeah, he used to work.
I
for
would've
the
been given
league.
to
Either security or broadcast, and Les took broadcast.
Yeah.
Yes. I look at the
You
arena.
took
I
law
don't
and
base it on the
security
fans.
in
'cause
college.
It's hard to say because some arenas you get no fans, and then you go. You've never been to Caledon.
Nope,
gosh,
hasn't.
I can't imagine what that's.
Don't
like.
even waste your time, Rhett.
I would never. Not
It's
even.
like going to Kamoka too, right?
I mean,
Well,
I would go
Kamoka's
to
a nice,
Kamoka.
another
It's
nice
not-
rink.
yeah,
I
again,
like.
But
Actually
they don't
like
get any
Kamoka.
fans.
But there's like 100 people
Yeah.
there, and then
Right.
most of them are from St. Mary's.
Well,
so-
Caledon's got 18 maybe.
I'm
That's
really
crazy.
surprised that London has a team because
Yeah.
Junior B is that small.
Well, it's the direct feeder to the Knights, is what it is.
Yeah. There's,
Oh, is it?
There's
Yeah.
about 6
Okay.
kids who played on the national team
Yeah.
last year that we beat.
Oh
That
wow.
are playing on the Knights this year.
Say
Huh.
that again. That you beat.
We
You
beat
beat London.
We beat London.
Yeah.
2
Game
years in a row,
7. It
2
was our
years in a
whole.
row.
It was a
Rhett-
home game.
Rhett, I remember
Wow.
seeing online, and you were on your Facebook, and everybody, you're like, St. Mary's will beat London, and you got like so many like, you never
All
mind,
the-
they're not gonna.
all
I
the
believe I was
haters.
at 7 too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for that game 7, like there had to be over 1,000 Lincoln
Oh, it was
fans.
amazing.
Like we
Yeah.
took over
Oh,
that bar.
Holly-
Yeah, Spencer,
Holly
Spencer
said
was
that.
saying.
It
yeah,
was
Spencer
a
said that
Lincoln's
too.
home game.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was crazy. It was the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Best
that's
night of my
fun.
Yeah.
life.
That was fun.
I got
Isn't that honest?
I got a photo with the trophy with Livermore and
Oh,
Abbott.
you have it on your Facebook page.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
my
the
profile
when you
picture.
broke it, right?
Yeah, I didn't break it. Thankfully, but
He broke the Western Conference Championship trophy.
I'll be
Good for
happy to
you.
do it again this year.
And you'll always remember it, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it was
fantastic.
great.
Right?
I
That's awesome.
I asked Spencer, when was the last time this happened in St. Mary's? Never.
Never.
And it's great. It's great to see 11-0, and they're just
Oh,
playing.
Yeah.
I talked to Pat Payton on the weekend. He said they went 8-2 back in the 80s when they had that couple good teams, but
Yeah.
nothing like this.
Yeah.
This is a whole new level.
And it's not that the competition's bad. It's just
No,
St.
it's-
Mary's is just. It's
St. Mary's is that
Yeah.
damn
They
good.
they are the
They
bar,
just are.
like you said.
They're
They
the
are the
bar.
bar. Now the downside to that is everyone's chasing you.
There will
Right.
be teams that will come at
Like-
you.
Yep.
Right.
they're 6 points ahead right now, but they're not going to get way out in front because the league will always bring them back.
Well, you know how
It'll-
our
it'll
predictions
come
are,
back.
Les. I hope
Yeah.
you're right
You're
with
right,
that.
I just don't.
Well,
I just
I'll tell you, they're off to an
We
11-0
had
start.
Colorado
They've
in
got
first
they've
place.
got 56-4-1 staring at them. So
But
all the power to them if they can do
junior
it,
hockey. They're
Rhett.
teenagers.
What's
So.
that?
right?
Did you know that stat about Junior B?
So, Rhett,
best
I
record?
played on a Stratford team in '85, and we went 56-4-1.
Wow.
We lost 3 regular season games, all to Waterloo. So it was Waterloo, Stratford, 1A, 1B. We ended up sweeping them in the league championship, and then we lost 1 game to St. Catharines on the route to the Sutherland Cup. But now, off that team, Rhett, we had I think 11 guys drafted pro. I think 13 guys went NCAA D1 schools. It was ridiculous.
wow.
I had a
Talk
front
about
row seat.
rope-a-dope.
Oh my God!
But
Right?
it just shows you, even junior B, it mirrors the NHL. St. Mary's went deep last year. Now they come out hot out of the gates. So
Yeah.
they've been there. Now they
Yeah.
just need
Yeah.
to take that one more step.
Yep. They know
You
how to
know, and
win.
they got the team to do it.
Yeah.
We're going back to that 85 team. Rhett, it was a big deal. It was,
I bet it
you,
was.
you just didn't see that type of success. You
It
didn't
was-
see that type of talent.
It was all
it was
I wanted
nuts.
to do was just make the team.
Yeah.
I had no idea
Yeah,
that
and Terry Uniacke had a part in that.
Yeah, TU was there,
Yep.
and
We'll have him back if you will.
yeah. All right, we better get on to the Irish.
I just got confirmation from Spencer. He's here.
Nice.
All right.
All right. Well, let's
I'll
finish her
be
off
sure to
with
listen
the
on my way
Irish.
home from Cleveland.
Yeah.
There you go.
yeah. But
Stratford Fighting Irish.
Stratford fighting
Holy
Irish.
moly.
Oh, man, they're having a tough go.
What are they, 2-2?
2-2
All right.
after 4 games. They're having trouble scoring.
Yeah.
They've only scored 17 goals. Now, their goaltending's been okay. They've only allowed 17 goals, but you look at Alvinston, who is the St. Mary's. They're setting the bar. They're 5-0. They've scored 35 goals, so they've scored twice as many goals as Stratford has and have only let in 20 goals. Folks, circle your calendar. If it's on the road, but Saturday, November 2nd in Alvinston, 6:45. We got to go to that one.
What's the date? Sorry.
Saturday, November 2nd.
Okay.
So circle that on your calendars if you want to see some fireworks down in Alvinston.
Yeah.
And
It's not the safest arena to be in.
Before we get right into this conversation, what I will say is I got a great message from Pi tonight. They have their game this Saturday night, regular time, 7:30?
7.
7,
yeah,
thanks.
7.
It will be their last home game for 3 weeks. So he has generously gave me the opportunity to drop. He's going to drop off tickets at the Urban Barber. And if you'd like complimentary tickets for the game, he encourages everyone to come in.
Fantastic.
And there's really no limit.
Right.
And I'll revisit this to the fact that, ladies and gentlemen, this generosity is just not seen these days. It is unbelievable the amount of generosity Pi has and these complimentary tickets. So take advantage of it. Let us know. Again, this Saturday, 7 o'clock. It'll be 3 weeks before the guys are back. So
It's
Yes.
also
Carry on.
Stratford Aces night.
Stratford Aces.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're 500. It's early in the season. They just got to get some scoring. So they beat Petrolia 4-2 to open the season up, and then they lost to Elora 6-3 at the Almond. They beat Delhi 5-1 on Thanksgiving Saturday, and then they lost 8-5 in Dunnville last Saturday. So it's early. It's early, but I think one of the biggest surprises is the defending champs, Tillsonburg. They're 2-4. So they're off to a shaky start. They're scoring. Like, they've got 28 goals for, but they're having trouble keeping it out of the net. They've had 33 goals scored against them. But you've got Elora. They're a surprise. They're 4-1. So they're red hot.
And they were on the lower tier last year.
Right. And they came into Stratford and surprised Stratford.
Well, yeah.
Right.
And, it was that game that we were talking about, Razor and Wes. I was watching the first period, and they were like, I thought Elora was, dominant, and Stratford really handled them. And then all of a sudden they ran into some things that got in their way. But there's a reality to this league, and there's a reality to the team in Stratford, and I put my trust in the powers that be that they'll figure it out. They've got some stuff to figure out. There's no
absolutely,
doubt.
Absolutely, and it's like I said, it's early in the season. Now, if this was January and they were still having trouble scoring, that's a different conversation, right? But it's early.
Yeah.
Pi's a smart guy. They're going to figure it out. They're going to tweak a few lineups. Pleasant surprise is Jared Nash. He's leading the Irish in scoring. 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points. He's averaging 2 points a game.
Razor, he looks great out there.
He does.
He looks great.
He really does.
In his entry to the league. So, could I be wrong? I could be wrong, but he wasn't expected to be that heavy of an influence on the whole point and goal scoring.
But especially a guy that took a couple years off out of the game, right?
100%.
He hadn't been in the game
Yeah.
for a couple years.
Yeah.
when he came
How
back,
old
so.
would he be? Because it
He's
doesn't seem that
28.
long ago. He
He's
was
same
with
age
the
as-
Cullies,
He's
right?
the same age as my oldest boy.
Okay.
28?
Yeah.
Less?
All right.
28.
Is
Yeah.
he that old? Okay.
Yeah, 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he looks great out there.
He does.
And even with that night that they played Elora and they lost, there were so many segments and series of plays that they looked great. Couple things, that they need to work on.
Yeah, that night against Elora, I think they had 2 posts and a crossbar. that changes everything. And, and once again, not to make excuses, but they had their chances. Elora capitalized and Stratford didn't. What's really interesting, though, is Brennan Feasy. Take a wild guess how many points he's got after 3 games.
Did he have 11 points in 2 games last week?
He's got 15 points in 3 games. He's averaging 5 points a game. Like, the guy is just redonkulous. And then his line mate, James McEwen, in 5 games, he's got 14 points.
So now you know how it feels to play against Nelson Emerson in '84,
right?
That's right.
That's basically what it is. Like, this Feasy guy, folks. Like, this guy's worth the price of admission.
He's not 26. He's 31.
Yeah,
and he's lights out.
And he's not a big guy.
No,
like he's.
But you've seen him.
He's
maybe
you've seen him. Like, he's maybe.
And Rhett and Chris,
I don't even know if he's 6 foot.
He's like 5'9".
Maybe 5'10", 5'11",
5'9.5".
Right, on skates. But he's not a big guy. But he is just he's so good with the puck. God, like the puck, it's like it's on a string, and you're just
talk about rope-a-dope.
Holy moly, he's fast, unbelievable stick handler. Like, by far the best stick handler in the league, and he just single-handedly controls a game. I've never seen a guy like that, junior, senior, honestly, since Nelson Emerson.
Right. Wow.
Where the puck just is on his stick, and McEwen is such a good compliment to him. Like, those 2 guys, that's why we got to go down to Alvinston November 2nd, because it's like going into St. Mary's last Friday night.
Right.
They are the bar. The Irish need to see where they're at. Yeah. And I'm not saying that Stratford's going to go down there and wax them or anything. It'd be nice if they did, but I just want to
see where you're at.
You got to see where, and it's early. Win or lose, you got to see where you're at, and then Pie can make adjustments. Okay, we need this, we need that. Their goaltending's fine. Their D is fine.
Irish?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I just think that they need a couple of guys, which every team does, right? Who doesn't need a goal scorer? Yeah. But I think that they're going to find it. Brulot, he's got 6 points after 4 games. Palillo, I thought he was a good pickup from Woodstock. He's got 5 points. So they're going to be okay, but
they've got some pieces. They need to figure out where they're at.
They don't have any guys like a Feasy. They're not going to find. The odds of finding a guy like that. No one finds a guy like that in the league. So they've got to.
He's the only guy in the league. So what you got to think about too is a guy like Robbins, who's incredible.
Yep.
Those Cooper Leaches of the league, and you have to figure out who you can get when those guys can't make it,
right?
Or when they're, that's the proof of the league. It's busy. These people are full, like families and commitments and all this stuff. You have to figure out where you're at.
Well, and the thing is that, you're dealing with guys that have played pro hockey, right? Whether it's in Europe or down on the East Coast or wherever. And they just need to find a way. Like, the way that they play against Delhi is probably not the way they're going to play against Alvinston, right? Like, they need to focus on, it could be a boring game where they're just blocking shots, shutting down those 2 guys, focusing about your own end, and then waiting for an opportunity when they're not on the ice, right? Like, it'll be interesting. I'm excited, to go down there and find a local watering hole before the game, and
Alvinston, it'll be the backseat of your car.
Well, I heard that they allow tailgating there, unlike another municipality that frowned upon it.
Things we got wrong. Feces 5'11", Jared Nash is 26. Founce with the Nash comment,
That's Founcy.
And Brock Chessell is not studying.
We got that wrong?
We got that wrong.
That's disappointing.
I thought Feasy was like 5'11". I didn't think he was.
I love it when people correct us, especially Brock. I'm not studying. Dad had all the faith, Brock, that you were studying. At least you're listening to this.
So
they got to you.
Well, Ritzer, what do you think?
Did you have fun, buddy?
Yep.
Oh, good.
Chester?
Excellent as always, boys. It's
Yeah.
always a pleasure.
Thanks
We-
so
we,
much, guys, for coming on. Like, both you guys just add so much to the show, and we
Hopefully-
can't thank you guys enough. And Rhett, you're welcome always to come
Yep.
on.
All right.
And
Goes pretty fast, doesn't it?
yeah,
it always does.
We'll have to
yeah.
talk before the playoffs start. Junior B playoffs.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're gonna have you
Don't
back
go
on to
worrying
get your
about that,
predictions
Rhett.
for that,
We'll be-
Rhett.
You'll
And
be
you
on.
know, my predictions.
Well, we
if
want to
they-
we want to
if-
see if they change it
If
all.
St. Mary's makes the playoff,
Hey, they got to stay
I get
injury
three high that
free.
to make it.
I just teasing you.
Things
bud.
can change in a hurry, folks. But no, we appreciate both you guys coming on.
and you guys have such a steam engine in the Junior B. Like you guys are ready to go. You're going to be built for the playoffs, so it'll be fun.
Yeah, looking
Yep.
forward to it, boys.
Friday,
And,
December 13th.
Yeah, it's
Go
coming
Legs
up.
go.
Put that on
Yeah.
your calendar.
Yeah,
You bet.
Absolutely.
It'll be, and that's the 519 Spotlight Sport.
Better
game
be.
of the week.
How could you not have that as your spotlight,
right?
right? Yeah. No.
Because it was funny when they 519 asked each team what their spotlight. St. Mary's and Stratford both said
Oh yeah.
Stratford at home, St. Mary's at home.
I wonder if they want the Armchair Chirpers interview in
I think
between
they-
periods,
I think they do.
right?
Yeah, I agree.
I think they should.
I think they should.
We
Like,
can make it
why
happen.
I can't
wouldn't-
speak.
Why wouldn't you?
I can't speak for them, but if I was a betting man, I would say
We had 2/3 the other night. Right?
right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
plugged the show.
So
Yeah.
you did. You got confirmation.
Spencer Seymour will be here next Monday night with Brian Hawley.
Brian Holly, you and Razor. I'm off to
Yeah.
Cleveland to see Baltimore football
Ooh,
game.
Lamar
good.
Jackson. I wonder who's going to start for
You'll,
QB for they don't want to
for
have
Cleveland.
Joe Flacco. They got rid of him.
I wish they would.
Joe
right?
Flacco will give him a win.
Right?
Exactly right. Exactly. But we'll see what can happen there, and I hope you guys have a great time. Looking forward to listening.
Yeah,
to
likewise.
It.
Have a great trip.
Yeah, that'll be good. I can't wait to hear Spencer and Holly because that's
Yeah.
last you might not have to come.
I
Just
said
make sure you
Yeah.
turn on the.
turn on the
Turn on the thing and
I,
leave.
Yeah, there you go.
I said to
Note to
Spencer,
self.
I said, when you're doing games by yourself at home, Brian Hawley makes a pretty good
Yeah.
color commentator and
He
analysis.
is.
He's
Well, he-
very knowledgeable about
Yeah.
the game of
Oh
hockey.
yeah.
He hit the road games. He's always by himself.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Holly would travel with him.
Oh, he would.
But I know the home games he does have usually a guy.
I want Holly to get his head through
Joel
the door,
Zano.
but he is awesome.
Oh,
Like,
he's
Holly,
very good.
It's
he's-
like just an encyclopedia
Oh.
of knowledge.
And
right?
he does his homework is the thing. Like
Yeah.
he texts me, okay, when it was me and him, what do you want to talk about in the first period? What do you want to talk about in the second period, right? He said, did you get any interviews? So I said, I got some interviews for the periods, and then we'll just talk in between, and even checking the out-of-town scores. He'll be like, oh, look at the shots in that game. You know, it's,
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a good,
Solid.
he's a good guy
Solid.
to have around.
Yeah.
No doubt
Okie
about it.
dokie.
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate your support. And as Les says,
Hey, remember, it's okay not to be okay. Just start the conversation. And the Leafs are up 1-0.
I just wanted to
Don't
thank
blow
Chris and Rhett Chessell this evening. So great having you guys. And be sure to tune into our Armchair Chirper social media on Facebook and Instagram. We really appreciate all the support, and thank you, everyone. And I guess that's it.
And thanks, Julie Chessell, for plugging the show today.
Go Lynx, go.
I did say
Julie
that.
Liza Chessell.
Did she?
Attaboy,
Oh,
Rhett.
there you go.
awesome.
She
Thanks,
said
guys.
Brett was excited. Brett was excited.
Oh, yeah. Good stuff.
All right.
All right.
All right,
Thanks,
guys.
everyone.
Thank you.